begin, Bear? Where do you want to begin, Bear?
Oh, there's several, Randy. Let's start. Let's start up in Rick's neck of the woods. Rogers at Fayetteville, a battle of unbeatens in Class 7A.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. That may be one of the bigger in the state. And Rogers scoring lots of points with Dane Williams at quarterback and Caleb Hutchins, Grayson Cash, maybe the motivational story of the year. He's the receiver. He missed 5 months and came back last week to have 3 catches for 74 yards and recovered a fumble on defense. And meanwhile, Fayetteville beat Bentonville West last week. And Drake Lindsay, the senior quarterback who's committed to Minnesota, threw 5 touchdown passes to Jason Delamar. They may be the state's top quarterback receiver duo. And I think this is one of those games that it's whoever has the ball last or first to 50 may win. Hootens.com does pick second-ranked Fayetteville on a close one over Rogers.
Yeah, the question in that game is going to be, I know Rogers has played some defense this year, but I think Fayetteville's offense has been their best defense so far. Of course, in the Cabot game in the first week of the season, Cabot, bad snaps. They had 3 safeties in that game. So it'll be a question of whose defense can step up and if they're on that level with Conway and Bryant, in my opinion. So, Bear,
Sure.
Yeah, great game. That's a part of our pick'ems this week. I want to go to our 103.7 Buzz game of the week. It's going to be in Searcy, the land of the Lions. El Dorado takes the track up there to take on Searcy.
Yeah, is this the week that El Dorado can get it turned around? Everybody's waiting on El Dorado to kind of hit stride this season. And this game's huge for playoff positioning. The Lions of Searcy have been very, very explosive so far with Ty Strickland at quarterback, and then Ricky Love and Jesse Sutton are making plays at receiver. And for El Dorado, they lost to Benton last week 57-6. They've got to find a way to really shake that loss. Now, Searcy had a big loss to Catholic. They were down 31-0 in the third quarter of that game. So both of these teams, it's almost a must-win game for both of them as far as playoff positioning goes. Searcy's at home, so Hootens.com picks the Lions narrowly over El Dorado.
There's a lot of great matchups. That we're followed throughout tonight. Certainly in our Ortho, Arkansas high school football scoreboard show. One of the other interesting matchups Pottsville is Pottsville. On the season 3-0 in conference. Taking on Bauxite 3-2 overall. 2-1 in conference play. 2-1 in conference play.
You're not kidding, Randy. This is a very good matchup for playoff positioning, maybe a conference championship. Hootens.com has Pottsville ranked number 14, Bauxite number 17. Bauxite's 2-0 all time against Pottsville, beat them by 20 points the first time these two teams ever played football, and that was way back in 2003. And then last week, Bauxite, of course, 31-0 over Dover. The game was called in the second half because of that power outage. But Eli Perry, the freshman quarterback, he's getting better by the week. So is that receiving core with Ryan Hoskins, Cole Witherington. I think they have a huge night. Now, Pottsville's won 4 in a row. They ran for 397 yards a week ago in a victory over Mayflower, almost 400 yards rushing. So Bauxite's defense has to step up. Hootens.com thinks the minor D makes just enough plays to win it, and going with Bauxite in a close one over Pottsville.
Bear, EPC goes to McCrory. This is a big game in the 2-2A. EPC comes in at 3-1, McCrory 2-2. McCrory's been up and down this year. I expect EPC to really get Dennis Gaines going. He's only got 372 yards rushing on the season compared to over 3,000 that he had last year.
Yeah, Dennis Gaines having a very slow start to the season, but we'll be at the halfway point tonight of the regular season, so expect some of these guys to really start turning it on. Now, McCrory looked really good last week. They got by Cross County, that talented Cross County team, in 3 overtimes. Levi Tucker, he ran in the winning touchdown in that third overtime for EPC, they just routed Clarendon last week, beat them by 4 touchdowns. Cooper Argo had a good night passing the ball. That's what they're doing as teams key in to stop gains in that running attack. They're able to pass the ball. They threw 4 touchdown passes a week ago. Omar McHouston had a big night. Hootens.com picks EPC and a good one at McCrory.
And another good matchup there. This one in the northeastern part of the state. Truman 3-1. Truman 3-1. 1-0 in conference, taking on the Highland Rebels. 3-1. Highland Rebels. Overall 1-0 in conference. Overall 1-0 in conference. Suffer their first conference loss tonight.
Yeah, Randy, we were lucky enough last week to have Coach Cook from Truman, the first-year coach, and Coach Stowers from Highland, the first-year coach, on the scoreboard show. Back-to-back calls, I believe, to have them talk about their team's victory and then set up for this game, because it means a whole lot for playoff positioning in the 3-4A. Truman has beaten Highland 11 of the past 17 seasons. They've won 3 in a row this year. Won 43-9 last week over Jonesboro Westside, playing outstanding defense. Cade Hatton, he's the leading rusher, and Gavin Cubitt there at H-back. Those guys, it's hard to stop them. And meanwhile, Gavin Greenwell, one of the better stories in the state, that the guy has a hand injury from a firework accident in the summer. They didn't know if he could play. He not only plays this year, last week he caught 2 passes, one of them for a touchdown, and then had 11 tackles on defense. Meanwhile, Highland, they scored 2 touchdowns in the final 6 minutes of the fourth quarter last week to upend Gosnell at Gosnell. Really shocked. That's one of the shockers in the state, how they beat them. And the quarterback, Zach Huckabee, had a nice game. Defense is playing well. Coach Stowers says they're going to have to run the ball with Keegan Statler to have a shot tonight. Hootens.com picks Truman to go up to Highland and get the victory.
The Bear Little Rock Catholic makes the trip across I-40 to West Memphis. Of course, Catholic beat Searcy last week very handily. As you mentioned, they were up 31-0 in the third quarter. West Memphis comes in 3-0 in conference play, 3-1 on the season. Look for this one to be very crucial game towards playoff seeding.
It is, and guys, both coaches and people close to these programs think both have a shot at a state championship this year. Catholic, they beat West Memphis last year by 21 points. This is a different West Memphis team. A week ago, they came down to Central Arkansas, went to Sylvan Hills. Sylvan Hills scores on the first possession to go up 7-0. And then West Memphis just turned it on. Won that game 44-13. They run the ball really well with Keelan Mills, the quarterback, and the Jeremiah McGruder. Those guys combined for over 200 yards rushing. The Catholic Rockets, meanwhile, as we talked about, they just really looked good a week ago against Searcy. Jackson England had nearly 300 yards passing and 5 touchdowns in that game. The difference is Catholic's defense has been outstanding. Defense wins this game. Expect a low-scoring game. Think this is a defensive battle. Hootens.com picks Catholic to edge one out at West Memphis.
All right, Kevin, if you would, let's get started on our phone calls.
All right, let's go to Jason. Jason, welcome to our Football Friday.
Hey, Kevin. I just want to talk to you about the tonight's game. I'm at McCrory right now. We play the EPC Warriors tonight. I just want to checking on them, and I was checking on how's the McCrory's defense shut down Dennis Gaines or EPC. How McCrory will get the upset at home versus EPC.
All right, Jason, thank you very much. Yeah, we just mentioned that game, one of our top 2A games of the week. Barry, I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, and we talked about it. Dennis Gaines, not a spectacular start to the season. In fact, he's averaging, 75, 80 yards rushing a game, right? Well, 100, less than 100 yards rushing a game, but they've really turned to Cooper Argo. The quarterback is playing well. I think that passing attack of EPC will be just enough to loosen up McCrory, allow Gaines to bust off a few runs, and picking EPC to win a close one. But McCrory has really shown a lot of grit, a lot of heart this year. I mean, last week they were outmanned at every position basically against Cross County, managed to win the game in 3 overtimes. one of those type deals where they just found a way to win and get it done in the third overtime. And speaking of that, we think a 3 overtime game, guys. I think 55.
Yeah,
to
not
56
12.
Yeah, not 18 to 12. So.
Let's talk with.
Right,
let's talk with. Okay, let's talk with Jack real quick. Jack, good afternoon. Welcome to our Football Friday.
Good afternoon, Barry. I called in to see what you think about Pine Bluff at BB tonight, and I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jack.
Well, Jack, this 5A Central race is up for grabs, especially last night after Maumelle off to an 0-2 conference start, upsets, unbeaten Mills. Kind of turns things upside down in there. If BB takes care of business tonight, if Pine Bluff takes care of business tonight, then the Zebras set up a huge showdown a couple of weeks with Joe T. Robinson for the conference title. But they've got to go on the road to take care of business against a BB team that's lost 3 straight games. They fell last week to Morrilton, but a couple of weeks ago played Whitehall within a touchdown. The thing that Pine Bluff does, their big play on offense and their defense is so opportunistic. Last week, they intercepted 5 passes against Maumelle, 3 of them by Kavion Stringer. And Marquez Brentley has been a great addition to this team. He's kind of the showpiece right now at tailback. He moved in from Watson Chapel over the summer and has had a huge impact on this Zebra offense. Last week, he ran for 94 yards, caught a touchdown pass, threw a touchdown pass. Hootens.com picks Pine Bluff to go up to BB and win that game and kind of take control or at least keep pace with Joe T. Robinson in the conference.
Bear, the landscape in Pine Bluff football has really changed from 5 years ago. Watson Chapel, they're struggling right now. The thought process was that Dollarway would be absorbed by Pine Bluff. That did happen. Do you see at any point that Watson Chapel would be absorbed by Pine Bluff as well?
Boy, I don't want to get into the politics of it, but I know that it's been the talk, and I think it could happen.
Okay.
I think it could happen. Don't know that it will.
Right.
But I think it could. And right now, Watson Chapel guys, we could go down a list of guys who played junior high ball at Watson Chapel and are starting for other programs in the area right now. It's enough to make up a pretty good team.
Or other places in the 5A Central.
Yeah.
Talk about. Speaking of revivals, talk about the revival that's going on down in Texarkana. They got a pretty good matchup tonight against Camden Fairview. Coach Outlaw, he has turned that program back around.
Well, he has, and he said it was going to take a little while, and here they are. They're 4-0. They're off to their best start since 2007, and in that year they went 7-0-1. Remember, we did not play overtime in non-conference games. They ended up winning a state championship with a guy named Dennis Johnson at running back. This year they've got a good senior cornerback in Nate Walls, of course. He had 3 touchdowns a week ago. But Telly Wells is a difference maker. Telly moved in from Pleasant Grove, Texas, I believe, in the summer. He's had a huge impact on this team. Last week, Texarkana took care of Magnolia 28-7. And in that game, Wells had 2 touchdowns on offense. He plays a little bit of defense. But the story in this game's got to be Camden Fairview. Which Fairview team shows up? They trailed Lakeside 21-0 early in the third quarter last week. Came back and lost it 34-20. Had some opportunities. Daryl Adkins, Trent Haygood played well in that game. They've got to get their defensive issues solved. If they do, Texarkana pulls off what I guess could be considered a mild upset. And if Texarkana wins the game, then we've got to consider Texarkana a legit contender for that number 2 seed out of the South.
Definitely. I like Arkansas High in that one. They've just been playing really well. Cortland Loudermill, as you said, Nate Walls, one of my favorite quarterbacks in Class 5A. I want to go to the 5A East in a game of teams that are sitting on top of the conference right now, along with Nettleton. Win, fresh off a 2-game winning streak. Coach Clay Toddy has his boys playing well. But Southside, the Southerners, 4-0 in the season, averaging over 40 points a game, right at 45 points. Bear, let's talk about this wild shootout in North Central Arkansas.
Yeah, all of a sudden it is. Who would have thought? Here's Southside and Win, and One of the games of the week. Wynn's ranked number 13 in the state. Southside number 16, undefeated. Southside rolling along with that really good wing tee, gun tee offense. Last week against Forest City, they ran 52 times for 405 yards and 7 touchdowns. Gabe Witt, the move-in from Batesville, playing really, really well. Running back, he had 3 touchdowns. And then Tanner Ellenball played well as well. And that defense is with Isaac Wallace and Jackson Womack has been the story at Southside. But they're going to have to try to shut down Dante Smith and Cameron Smith of Wynn. Wynn, Coach Tommy expects earlier in the week, he expected to dress around 32 for this game, but he doesn't know exactly. I mean, they're dealing with low numbers and injuries and everything else. I think that all adds up to a Southside victory. Hootens.com picks the Southerners.
And let's visit with Steve. Steve, good afternoon. Welcome to our Football Friday. Welcome to our Football Friday.
Hello, guys.
What's up, buddy? What's up, buddy?
Hey, Steve.
You know, it's sad to say, but Magnolia's not going to win but one more game this year.
Ouch.
No, Barry. The schedule and the off the field stuff that's going on, it's destroying team continuity, and things are going on that I don't like. And last week, Texarkana's got to learn they can't run no trick plays when they trying to. We were down 28-0. They were running trick plays to get it to 35-0. And then they finally realized, hey, stop the crap we're doing and go back to running the ball. And when they did, we couldn't stop them.
You had trouble with that?
And the one receiver y'all were talking about, he's from Liberty, Ilo.
Liberty. Okay, not Pleasant Grove. Okay.
And they got a big defensive tackle from Texas High, I think.
Yeah.
But I know it's our homecoming, but Lakeside's going to win tonight because when I seen the score last week of them beating Camden, I'm like, whoa, Lakeside is much improved this year. But anyway, what y'all's score and everything, and how do y'all feel about it? Talk to you later, guys.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, I talked to Coach King a couple of times this week, and he said they've had injuries. They've had, we'll call it team chemistry issues, but, man, they've had 3 running backs. They're at their second group of running backs having to play. He expects to get a couple back tonight. Defensively, George Jackson had a good game, but he said that was about it. No one else really did against Texarkana. But he's hoping that kind of game can serve as an eye-opener and get this Magnolia team back on track. But the story has to be Lakeside. They beat Fairview by 14 last week. Jacob from Milsey, I have trouble saying his name.
I do too. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Jacob
is playing. Jacob's playing really well, and then Kyler Wolf. We knew Kyler Wolf and Skylar Purefoy are
special,
talented receivers. Yeah. So what we've got at Lakeside, everybody says this coaching change with Coach Rockwell coming in has just energized this team, and he has them believing. Coach Rock really has this team believing they're going to win, and Hootens.com picking them to go down to Lakeside and get the victory. And, Magnolia's kind of dominated this series, so Lakeside keeps bucking these trends every week.
Live from the Boomtown. Come on down, join us.
Wednesdays during the zone, presented by the Wooded Rock Athletic Club. Join the Wooded Rock Athletic Club and save 30% off joining fees with no monthly contract. LRAC.com.
Fence Brokers presents Razorback Graffiti every Monday morning. Call Morning Mayhem and let them know how you feel about how they did. One sentence and one sentence only.
Hello, folks. It's Frank Fletcher from the Fletcher Dodge store here in Sherwood. For the past few months, we've been asking you to give us a chance to buy your cars, and the response has been great. We really appreciate all of you who brought your cars in and turned it into cash. We've purchased hundreds of cars from fine people just like you. Folks, we're still buying cars every day. So look around and see what you or your family has in the garage that you want to turn into cash. It's really easy, folks. Just come into Fletcher Dodge and ask for Chris or Andy. We'll buy any vehicle and we'll pay you more than anyone. We can't find enough vehicles at the auto auctions to meet the demand. So we're extending you this offer to the public. We'll pay you more, so don't wait. We've purchased hundreds of cars from fine people just like you. Come see us today for the best cash offer on your car, truck, van, or SUV. Just ask for Chris or Andy. We'll pay you more, so come see us at Fletcher Dodge on Warden Road in Sherwood. Thanks.
Archery enthusiasts, get ready to take your fall hunting to the next level at Max Prairie Wings Annual Fall Fest, September 28th through October 1st. 4 days only, enjoy tax-free savings on all of your archery hunting essentials, both in-store and online at maxpw.com. Bows, arrows, targets, accessories, and everything you need to hit your mark. And with your purchase of $99 or more, Max will ship your gear straight to your door for free. All this can only be found at Max Prairie Wings Fall Fest.
When it comes to tailgating this football season, Edwards Food Giant is your MVP when it comes to a hassle-free tailgate party. Pulled pork smoked to perfection, along with an ultimate lineup of sides and essentials that'll make your taste buds cheer and your tailgate setup a breeze. The Edwards team also features even more delicious meats like chicken, brisket, ribs, and smoked sausage, all straight from their own smokehouse. It can all be found by clicking edwardsfoodgiant.com or by visiting your local Edwards Food Giant store. Edwards Food Giant is your MVP. edwardsfoodgiant.com.
Fresh off their summer lineup of convertible sports cars, tomorrow night, Saracen is giving away the king of luxury pickups, Toyota's new Tundra Capstone from Trotter Toyota. The Tundra Capstone is the ultimate in luxurious trucks, and it can be yours just for playing your favorite games at Saracen Casino Resort. Only 40 minutes from Little Rock and only at Saracen tomorrow night.
Saracen Casino Resort, Vegas, Arkansas style.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
With over 350 land specialists in 40 states, Whitetail Properties Real Estate is the premier rural real estate company in North America. And Mike Poore, your local Whitetail Properties land specialist, combines local expertise with the Whitetail Properties national reach to reach more buyers who are looking for hunting land, farmland, and rural homes. So if you're thinking about selling, you need to give Mike Poore a call today at 501-428-7177 or visit whitetailproperties.com.
Anybody that goes to Tacos for Life is going to say, hey, I want to go back again. And he was going to do that. But I also need to tell you about what I was eating that day. You know, it's their new kind of it's only for a while. It's the bacon barbecue ranch taco. And it was really, really good. Now, it's not surprising because everything they have at Tacos for Life is good. But if you like bacon, you like barbecue, this taco was loaded. I mean, it was spilling over at the top. So you're going to love the bacon barbecue ranch taco. If you'd rather have it in a salad, you can get it that way. If you'd rather have it as a quesadilla, you can get it with chicken or pork. It's absolutely wonderful, and that's new right now at Tacos for Life. What's not new is the fact that every time you buy a meal at Tacos for Life, you are helping support someone who's food insufficient. And to this point, in slightly less than 10 years, they have given away over 31 million meals. Try the new bacon barbecue ranch taco and help someone out at Tacos for Life.
Now, back to Drive Time Sports, live from the Eat My Catfish studios. Eat fresh, eat local, eat my catfish. You're safe at home with Drive Time Sports on the Buzz Radio Network.
Welcome back to our Friday Berry Arkansas Football Magazine, along with Kevin Bohannon. Rainwater. I'm Randy Rainwater. There was such an outpouring last night at the river steakhouse. Any entree, you get 12 ounce free lobster. Just as Mr. Fletcher did last time, he's doing it again. He wants to accommodate all of those could not get in last night. It is tonight only. Be sure get there early. Just make a reservation. Why not just make a reservation? 371-9000. William. Ask for William Shapur. As for Shapur. And he's going to treat you like family. He'll probably give you my special table. But be sure and take advantage of this fantastic opportunity. We're always talking about the dinner for $60, which includes the riverfront salad bar for two, the filet, the 10-ounce filet, the fried shrimp, and then you've got all the different side options. The side option tonight for any entree is the free 12-ounce lobster. It's tonight only. Be sure to take advantage of it right now. Call your reservation in. I think they open the doors at like 6 o'clock. So you can be right there first in line. And you can take advantage of this fantastic offer. That's the Riverfront Steakhouse, Wyndham Hotel in North. Be sure and call for reservation. 371-9000. 371-9000. Steakhouse, Wyndham Hotel, North Little Rock. Guys, here at Boomer Jacks. The menu is simply overwhelming. But I think I'm going to narrow it down. I haven't had these in a while. And the more I look at the menu, it makes sense. Loaded nachos. I won't read you everything that's on this menu. But I will simply say, I'm not sure I'll be able to eat all of it. But that's okay. I probably can take it home and enjoy some later on. But come on by here at Boomer Jacks, just down from AT&T Stadium. My understanding is there are two Boomer Jacks. We are the one near. I don't know street addresses and that kind of stuff. So I apologize there. But it's just right down the street from AT&T Stadium. I think it's on Collins. Right off of Collins. But you can't miss it. Once you get on Collins, you'll run right. That is here at Boomer Jacks. Until 7 o'clock. We'll be right back here tomorrow afternoon with the First Security Fifth Quarter Postgame Show. And hopefully there will be some happy folks celebrating here after the Arkansas victory over Texas A&M. All right, gentlemen, let's get right back to work. And let's talk with Ron. Ron, good afternoon. Okay, Ron decided he didn't want to host. So
that's okay.
We will move on because I've got several here I can go right to. Bear, this is from our Southern Structural Solutions bus text line from not sure. We'll say the 501. Thoughts on Greenbrier versus Greenwood? Any chances of an upset? So this obviously is coming from a Greenbrier fan.
Well, it would be a monumental type upset because this Greenwood team, undefeated, they're rolling right along. They've won 12 in a row over Greenbrier, so Greenbrier just has a tough time matching up with them. The Panthers had nearly 600 yards last week against Van Buren. The two Canes, Griffin and Richardson, played quarterback and combined for 5 touchdowns. They really ran the ball well, playing great defense. The last time that Greenwood started 5-0, they won the 2020 state championship. So things really are looking good for Greenwood with Scott Holland and Grant Carnes, of course, Zach Zittman playing well in that win that they had. Both of these teams can put up a lot of points, so it will be closer than what people would be anticipating. You know, Greenbrier has won 3 in a row, but they know their work is cut out against this Bulldog team. So Hoops.com picks #1 Greenwood at home over Greenbrier.
Barry CAC had its first defeat a couple of weeks ago. Haskell Harmony Grove struggled a little bit against Little Rock Hall last week. Coach Jim Withrow's squad came out and gave the Mustangs all they wanted. It was a close game right there till the end. 34-27, ended up 40-27. CAC takes on Mayflower, who had their first defeat last week at the hands of Pottsville. This should be a really good game in Faulkner County.
I think you're right. I think this entire 4-4A is pretty competitive with each other. Not much margin for error in these games. In the CAC, there are 3 conference games. They're 2-1 in conference. Those 3 games have been decided by a total of 19 points. Most of it in that 13-point win over Hall a week ago. Grayson Wilson, of course, he played okay in that game, but Sullivan played really well at running back, had 4 touchdowns. Mayflower could have won last week against Pottsville, had 2 critical turnovers in the second half. They've got to stop from turning the ball over tonight at home against CAC. I think this game goes right down to the wire. CAC's already won a couple of games basically at the buzzer, lost one at the buzzer too. So they've been in these type of games, and Hootens.com picks the Mustangs to get a narrow victory over Mayflower.
Justin, good afternoon.
Justin,
Welcome to our Football Friday.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Man, doing great.
Doing good, Justin.
How about you, Justin?
Doing good. I'm going to Boxside tonight. Y'all were talking about the 4A and Pottsville's going to Boxside. I was going to ask Barry about that one. And then the Jessville Glenrose game, I'm going to go ahead and see what he says about that, and I'll get off here and listen to you guys.
Thank you, Justin.
Justin, for Boxside, of course, they've got the dynamic freshman quarterback Eli Perry, the coach's son, who's had to move up, and he threw 2 touchdown passes against Dover last week. He started the past couple of games. They got a score on defense. Pottsville's won 4 in a row and running the ball well. Last week against Mayflower in that game we just talked about Mayflower, the Apaches ran for nearly 400 yards. Miller Mahan, Tate Cobb had big nights, and then their defense forced a couple of turnovers. But the game's at the pit. A couple of weeks ago, they came up with a goal line stand on the last play inside the 1-yard line to beat Lamar at home. Boxside just has a way of winning these close games at home. This one's going to be close, and it's in the pit. So Hootens.com picks Boxside to win it. And then in the 4-3A, a very crucial match, Jesseville at Glenrose. Jesseville just got mercy ruled by Bismarck last week, but this Bismarck team is going to do it to a lot of people. Very under ranked team right now. Glenrose, meanwhile, they beat Paris by 50 points last week. Ryan Bland and Draven McSpadden played very well in that game. The defense forced a couple of turnovers. If they can get a couple of turnovers tonight, that would be the difference in the game. I think they do it. Hootens.com picks Glenrose to beat Jesseville.
Bear, a game in Class 3A that may have lost a little of its luster than it was a few years ago, but Junction City and Prescott, these 2 teams have so much tradition over the past 10, 15 years. What do we think about this one tonight?
I think it's really, really I think it's going to be closer than people think. I got to see Coach Brad Smith, the former coach at Junction. He's still down there as a girls golf coach. My daughter played the state girls golf tournament this week, and Coach Smith was there. Talked to him. This Junction City team still looking for an identity on offense. They beat Falk last week 55-20, and the coaching staff said they ran the ball really well. They think they turned the corner a little bit. Meanwhile, Prescott just throttled Gurdon last week 52-7. I mean, this game is always super competitive, and Gurdon always plays lights out against Prescott. They could not stay on the field with Prescott this year. Pierce Yates, the quarterback, completed all 11 passes he attempted in that game. He's become a very efficient passer for this team. And then Genoa Harris and Dwayne White really running the football. Those 2 guys. They split the carries among this team. I think this Prescott team may be capable of making another run to War Memorial Stadium, playing for a state championship, picking Prescott to get the victory tonight at Junction City.
And let's see. Let's talk to Rick. Rick, good afternoon. Welcome to our Football Friday.
Hey, I got 3 things I want y'all to answer.
All right.
3 points. First one, y'all are the best salesman in advertising I ever seen. When I come from East Arkansas, I go and eat at every one of y'all's restaurants in Little Rock, and it's true. It's such great food. That's my first point.
Well, thank you.
Second point.
Well, thank you.
My second point is, do you think the West is going to catch up in 7A football with Conway and Bryant? Because I know they got a showdown here in about 3 weeks. Do you think the West might accidentally beat Brian or Conway. And then my third point is I predict the Hogs to win a close. And I'd like all three of them to be answered.
All right.
Very good. Thank you, Rick.
It's going to be a great week.
Can't go wrong with the food, first of all. And Barry, we like to eat on this show, obviously. And Randy talking about at Boomer Jack's and over Sonic Blast, they're always good, but a lot of good small places. Barry, the West versus the Central. Conway has struggled at times, of course, with Bentonville, Fayetteville. That's well documented. Bryant, I have not seen a defense in the West that's been able to hold them down. That's the difference to me.
That's the difference. I think the gap is narrowing, and we could see it eventually. But right now, it's not. You said Bryant's defense is playing well. Conway is coming around. I mean, this is an undefeated team, and they're just going to get better every week under Buck James and peak about week 14 in the state championship games. So I think the West could play them close, but the champion probably comes from the Central once again.
And no cigar.
Listen for birthday trivia in the zone, brought to you by Elia's Mexican Grill. Headed to the hill, take exit 108 from either direction for award-winning Mexican food made fresh every day. Elia's in Morrilton.
Tomorrow night, Saturday night, last Saturday of the month, is the most exciting night of the month at Saracen Casino. It's the vehicle giveaway, and tomorrow night it's a Toyota Tundra Capstone pickup. Jaw-droppingly cool. Carlton, you're always there when these vehicles get given away. Can you describe the faces of the people waiting to see if they become a finalist?
You know, there's been a little bit of everything. I mean, one is, I don't want to call it anxiety. That sounds like fear, but anticipation, you know, that electricity in the air, kind of like, I don't know, close ball game, last time out at the end of the fourth quarter, that feeling in the crowd, right? But then when folks win, I mean, it has run the gamut. We've had folks who know instantly and they're jumping up and down, to folks who almost are in shock and somebody next to them saying, "Hey man, you won." I mean, we've seen it all. I've never won anything like a free pickup truck, certainly not a truck like this Capstone, $80,000-$90,000. So I don't know what I'd do. Come down and show us what you might do. Come win this Capstone tomorrow.
I know the last 3 years, people have got accustomed to paying sticker price for a brand new vehicle. Well, it's not that way anymore at Red River Ram. If you're looking for a new Ram truck, we've got heavy-duty four-wheel drive trucks starting at $49,500 or up to $12,000 off sticker price for a Cummins diesel. And we've got $11,000 off Ram 1500 Bighorn four-wheel drive trucks. If you want the best selection and the best buying experience, make that beautiful drive right here to Heber Springs. Now during Ram Power Days.
Hi, neighbor. It's Garen with Shamrock Roofing. Have you been denied a new roof by your insurance company after storm damage? You won't be denied at Shamrock Roofing. Give us a call or visit us at shamrockroofer.com. Right now, we're offering a free impact-resistant roof upgrade. Plus, if you've been denied coverage by your insurance company after the storms, you automatically qualify to win a new roof for free. Just visit shamrockroofer.com for details. Shamrock Roofing, where one call does it all, at shamrockroofer.com.
Hey, everybody, thanks for listening to us this afternoon. I don't know if you realize it or not, but right there in your pocket, the power of creating excitement, like the sports book right here at Saracen Casino. If you're here live, very exciting. But that Bet Saracen app, man, it's just waiting for you anywhere in the state.
So you've got really two choices, right? If you want to come win a Toyota Tundra Capstone, we need you to come see us at the casino because we're giving away this $80,000, $90,000 truck from Trotter Toyota. But you asked me about sports betting, and you don't have to come see us for that because it's in your pocket. So look, Saturday football games, Sunday NFL games, whether it's college, NFL, whatever your thing is, it's in your pocket. Saracen and Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app, and it is no further away than your telephone. Speaking of no further away, the casino is 40 minutes from Little Rock. We want you to come see us because we want to give you this pickup truck tomorrow night at 10 at the Saracen.
Welcome back to Drive Time Sports, live from the Eat My Catfish studios, where it's much like any of the 7 Eat My Catfish locations, minus the always fresh, delicious food options like the family pack catfish dinners. You've got Drive Time Sports locked in on the Buzz Radio Network. Here is Randy Rainwater.
You know, we say we go wherever you go. That means you can bank better with First Security Bank no matter wherever you are. That's First Security Online and mobile banking. It's convenient. It's secure. You can check your balances. You can view your transactions. You can transfer money between accounts. You can pay your bills. You can pay your all kinds of things. And whether you're on the go, whether you're on the go, no matter where you may be, no matter where you may be, bank better wherever you are. Now, getting started is easy. Go to fsbank.com, click on the enroll link, and follow the simple steps. I can bank right here. I can bank right here, Texas. In Arlington, banking better with First Security Bank. Let's remember FDIC, equal housing lender, only in Arkansas. Only in Arkansas. Security Bank. We are now joined by my man Neil. My man Neil Saracen. Man, these prop specials, these double R prop specials. I mean, they are. Is it safe to say red hot right now, Neil?
Yes, they are. And I hate saying this, but that Luke Haas one is getting hammered right now. So that breakout game that he had last weekend, I'm going to have to call you up Saturday night, Randy, and talk with you. But other than that, but anyway, yeah, we're ready for a big weekend. We're seeing a lot of action. We're seeing a lot of early action because my sneaking suspicion, a lot of people are getting their bets in before they cross the line headed to Dallas, and there's no sports betting in Texas. So, yeah, a lot of early money's come in, and the line's kind of fluctuated a little bit, but it's looking pretty good. So I'm either going to be I'm going to be happy if the Arkansas wins, but I may not be happy when I look at the numbers Sunday morning. But hey, that's what sports betting is all about. Somebody's got to win.
And did you have not only that game, Arkansas, Texas A&M? I mean, there is action everywhere. In fact, there's a game tonight, Utah, Oregon State. And then all the college action tomorrow. And then I'm not sure it capsules, but then you got the NFL on Sunday. Nothing better. Nothing better.
There's only 109 different betting games of college football that you can bet on Saturday. So, that's how many we've got. And then we're getting ready to go into basketball season, and we have a little bit of overlaps, and that's when the real fun starts. Last day of Major League Baseball tomorrow. A lot going on. Ryder Cup. Remember, that starts at the middle of the night for us because it's in Italy. Get those bets in on round 2. USA's got some catching up to do.
All right, Neil, as always, a pleasure. Go to betsaracen.com. Better yet, go get it on the App Store at Bet Saracen. Gentlemen, before we get back to work, I must say a very special day is going to occur tomorrow. And that is, Kevin, I think you know about what I'm about to say. It will be a special 21st birthday for a young man by the name of Michael Carpenter. So, son, if you're listening and you're on your way to Arlington, please drive safely and well below the speed limit. We want to give you a big hug, and won't give you the smooch, but we will tell you we love you and happy birthday to Reed Michael Carpenter. Doesn't seem that long ago he was playing for the Arkansas Prospects. Kev?
I know. It's 3 short years ago,
That's when you start feeling my age, right?
That's right.
He's turning 21 years of age. So, yeah, happy birthday, Michael. Reed Michael. And let's go to Jonathan. Jonathan, good afternoon. Welcome to our Football Friday.
Yes, sir. Cabot and Little Rock Southwest.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan.
Cabot is holding steady at that number 6 ranking in the state. Looked like they could put it all together, make a little bit of a playoff run. Southwest has been there with a 1-3 record and kind of wanting to got to find a way to win some of these games you're not supposed to identify themselves as top-notch program or a decent program. And last week they lost to Conway 56-0. They've got to improve that passing and running game. Cabot is at home where they haven't lost in 2 years. Cooper Powell, Hayes Cox both played well last week in that victory up at Jonesboro, 13-point win. Hootens.com picks Cabot over Southwest.
Bear, that game, both offenses have really struggled to get going against good competition. So it wouldn't surprise me if you see a low-scoring game up there tonight in Cabot. But, Bear, I want to see how the PA Bruins bounce back from the 55-13 throttling at the hands of Little Rock Christian. They welcome Mountain Home out to Rodney Parham tonight.
Yeah, and it could be a close one. I think a little closer than anticipated. I know that PA's attention is been gotten, I guess. They know what to do now. They rarely lose at home. So expect PA. They're the defending state champions, and they're going to do what it takes to climb back in this race for a conference and state championship. The only other time they played Mountain Home, they won by 38 points last year. They did get a big blow. John Mark Charette, the receiver, he's out. I think he had surgery today, and I hope he can recover. But then this is a Bruin team been struck with injuries and people moving off. And Brandon Cobb, he's the quarterback. He's been injured, playing hurt. They just had a lot of things go wrong. Meanwhile, Mountain Home has a feel-good story. They were down 7-0 at halftime last week to Russellville, came back to win. Kelso Halt kicked the game-winning field goal. Time expired in that game. They only allowed 8 first downs, so they're playing really good defense. But look for the Bruins to bounce back tonight and make a run at this conference and state championship. Hootens.com does pick the Bruins over Mountain Home.
All right, gentlemen, we will not be squeezed we have been the last couple of weeks in regards to the Tabo, Barry, Hickam, even though we have on Hector and Conway Christian, but I know we Conway Christian. I think you did talk maybe about Wynn and Southside Batesville. I know you talked about Texarkana, Camden, Fairview, then Rogers and Fayetteville. So we pretty much talked about all of these already. So let's start right at the very top about the one we haven't talked about, and that is Hector at Conway Christian. Cabo, you're up first. Christian, Cabo, you're up first.
Yeah, Hector played really well. As of late, they are ranked number 12 in Hootens.com poll. So they've won 3 in a row over McCrory, Danville, and Johnson County Westside. Their losses to Mark Tree, who's very good, and then 3A Quitman. Conway Christian, I love Coach Justin Kramer up there, but I'm going with Hector and the Wildcats on the road this week.
And Conway Christian lost last week after that 4-0 start. Xander Stone, he started all 5 games at quarterback, should start again tonight as Jared Thomas continues to heal up from his injury. Hootens.com is going with Conway Christian over Hector.
Barry, you must be just kicking the because normally at the bottom of these, he puts on the record of each, and it's blank this time. So
he's up 5 games.
Okay, that way I couldn't tell you how bad of a snot kicking he's receiving. Okay,
Barry's 15-10 on the year. I'm 10-15. But if you look at it, it's only 1 game a week that he's beaten me. So I think I'm doing pretty good against the master, the general, so to speak, of high school pick'em when it comes to high school football.
It's called look at the scoreboard and see who's behind. All right, next one up. Pottsville at Boxside. Bear, you're up first. Bear, you're up first.
Went back and forth on this game, talked to several coaches who just brought up the fact that Boxside doesn't lose often in the pit. Their defense is playing well, scoring points. Pottsville, though, get your attention by running for 400 yards last week. Still picking Bauxite, though, at home in a narrow one over Pottsville.
Yeah, Bauxite lost at the pit to CAC Bears. So give me Pottsville and the Apaches. Every time I pick against Pottsville, they've lost. They've won this year. So I'm going with the Apaches, Bear.
All right, we'll finish up on these shortly. We got to step aside for the top of the hour break. Coming up next is Trade Media of HogSports.com being brought to you by Asher Record Service Company. Our Football Friday will continue from Arlington at Boomer Jack in just one moment. Stay tuned.
Gwatney Chevrolet in Jacksonville is going beyond the competition to change your current vehicle situation with Gwatney's exclusive loan and lease termination program.
I need your current payment, your keys, and your signature.
Call 501-982-2102 and say hasta la vista to your current ride and payment with the help of Gwatney's loan and lease termination program, regardless of your current financial situation.
I swear I will approve everyone.
Rates as low as 0% on new Chevrolets. Trade now and terminate your payments until 2024.
Get to Gwatney now.
The loan and lease termination program is this month only at Gwatney Chevrolet, 1301 TP White Drive in Jacksonville. Call 501-982-2102. GwatneyChevrolet.com. Chevrolet. Find new roads. All offers with approved credit. All voices are impersonators, but Gwatney's the real thing.
Shop Gwatney Chevrolet once, and you'll be back.
Listen for Birthday Trivia in the Zone, brought to you by Elia's Mexican Grill. Headed to the hill, take exit 108 from either direction for award-winning Mexican food made fresh every day. Elia's in Morrilton.
This is your official sports and entertainment station, Central Arkansas. We are 103.7 The Buzz, KABZ, Little Rock.
Buzz News with Channel 7's Cassandra Webb.
The Faulkner County Sheriff's Office is warning people about a spike in car break-ins. They say burglars are breaking into cars, stealing weapons, purses, wallets, laptops, and even keys. They say it's critical to lock all doors to your car and never leave anything inside, even if you're only gone a few minutes. So if you're in Faulkner County and see anything suspicious happening around a car, call the Sheriff's Office. Governor Sanders released $4 million from the state's Disaster Response and Recovery Fund. That money will go to cover costs related to the March 31st tornado. A catastrophic twister ripped through miles of central Arkansas that day, destroying thousands of homes and businesses. Another hit the city of Wynne, destroying the high school. The resources freed up by the governor will be used by the director of the Arkansas Division of Emergency Management to pay for program and administrative costs related to the recovery effort. From the Channel 7 Newsroom, I'm Cassandra Webb.
Anywhere in the state, dial 888-8888 for Rainwater, Holton, Sexton. They'll help you weather the storm.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with Channel 7 meteorologist James Bryant.
Temperatures today will again soar into the mid-90s. Look for a high of 94 today at Little Rock with light winds out of the southeast. The hot pattern is going to continue all the way through the weekend. Tonight's low temperatures a little bit more comfortable, down to 67 degrees. From the Channel 7 Weather Center, I'm James Bryant.
Today's special at the Riverfront Steakhouse in the Wyndham Hotel. Dinner for two for $60. Split a 10-ounce filet, fried shrimp, and our famous salad bar.
Justin Ackley reminding you that if you want the job done right, then don't stress. Just go with the best. CertaPro Painters is your go-to painting company. You can get your free estimate scheduled at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. People who are going to be responsible and people who are going to be accountable to you and your family to make sure your project gets done right. So if you've been thinking about sprucing up your home or business for the fall season that is almost upon us, you need to get CertaPro on the case. Use the company that I've used many times over the years. It is CertaPro Painters. You'll be happy you did.
Happy weekend, everybody. So glad to be talking to you from Saracen Casino, where tomorrow night, the monthly vehicle giveaway. It's a special one, too, this month. Toyota Tundra Capstone Pickup. What an incredible vehicle. It'll be given away to somebody, maybe you, tomorrow night, 10 o'clock. I'll tell you what, get here early and enjoy some fun on the machines while you wait.
To have fun, eat in some of our restaurants. You've got Red Oak, which just continues to impress, has been named time and time again Arkansas's best restaurant. The reviews are incredible. The buffet. The Democrat Gazette has said our sports bar, Legends, is the #1 sports bar in Arkansas. We've got a 25-foot video wall. We'll probably have, they usually have at least 7 games up on it, but depending on how they structure it, they could have even more. So you'll have all kinds of games out there, all kinds of food to eat, all kinds of fun. Come tonight, play, earn some extra entries. come tomorrow night, play. We start giving away free play at 7, and at 10 o'clock, we're giving away a Toyota Tundra capstone at the Saracen.
Hi, folks. It's Chris Zender here at Frank Fletcher Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sherwood. I know vehicles have gotten expensive, so I'm going to try to help everyone out. We've got the biggest discounts of the year this week on most of our popular models. Save up to $10,000 off new Ram 1500 Laramie, Bighorn, and Rebel pickups, and up to $8,000 off all new 2500 Ram trucks. We've got Frank Fletcher's lowest price on every new Ram on the lot. You also save up to $7,500 the popular Jeep Grand Cherokee 2 and 3 row, and up to $7,000 off all new Dodge Durangos, and over 10% off on all new Jeep Gladiators and Compasses. Folks, we're ready to make you a deal on any new vehicle on the lot. Just tell us what you're looking for and how much you want to pay. At Fletcher Dodge, you'll always get the best price, the lowest finance rate, and more for your trade. And we promise you a hassle-free buying experience. So come see us and give us a chance to earn your business. Shop Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood before you buy anywhere else. Come see us in person at Fletcher Dodge on Warden Road in Sherwood, or shop online at FletcherDeals.com.
Don't miss this trade day event at Zeddy's, sponsored by Home Team Heroes, on September 30th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Join us for a day filled with games, food, exciting giveaways, slab packs, and more. Learn about Home Team Heroes, the unique experience that's taking the collecting world by storm. Mark your calendar and head over to Zeddy's, located at 146 West South Street in Benton. The trade day event is on September 30th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Don't miss out on this exciting opportunity to trade and connect with fellow collectors.
Our care clinics are your hometown source for primary medical care. Our doctors, nurses, and counselors can help patients of all ages with anything from common colds and immunizations to depression, anxiety, and chronic diseases. Our network includes both mail order and local pharmacies to fulfill your prescriptions. If you don't have insurance, it's okay. We can help with that too. And no one is turned away. With more than 65 locations in Arkansas, there's a good chance we're in your hometown. Look us up at ourcare.net.
Lucky me. I'm hanging out with Carlton Schaeffer at Saracen Casino this afternoon. And you know, when you're here, it really kind of feels like you're leading some special kind of lifestyle. Very exciting. Bigger than life, I'd say. And tomorrow night, that Toyota Tundra capstone that you're giving away, Carlton, that thing's bigger than life.
It is bigger than life. We actually we hope we can get it through the front doors. And that turned out not to be a problem. That's good. But it takes up a lot of space in the lobby. If you've seen it, well, you know, it's a big, beautiful pickup truck. It's also expensive. It's the most expensive pickup truck I've ever seen. You know, I think of it as if Lexus made a truck, because this is a Toyota. We got it from our friends at Trotter Toyota, but it is fully loaded. It's unquestionably the nicest pickup I've ever seen. It's going to be here for, I guess, another day or so. And then tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, well, it's going out to one of y'all, because we'll hand the keys to one Saracen player tomorrow night at 10. Could be you, should be you. Come win this Toyota Tundra capstone at the Saracen tomorrow.
Live from the Eat My Catfish studios, it's time for Arkansas's #1 caller-driven sports show. It's Drive Time Sports on the Buzz Radio Network with your hosts, Randy Rainwater and Rick Schaeffer. Lock it in and get ready to dial us up. Drive Time Sports is on the air.
Hour number 2 of our football Friday. The Grooms of Hootens, Arkansas football magazine. Kevin Bohannon. I'm Randy Rainwater. Today from Boomer Jacks. In Arlington, just down from AT&T Stadium. Be sure to stop in, say hello. There appears to be several Arkansas fans here in attendance. I don't think they can hear me from all of the background noise, but nevertheless, if you get a chance, stop by, say hello. We have the autograph booth set up for both David Basil and John Neighbors. They have been autographs, taking pictures, all the good stuff. And so we'd love to see you here at Boomer Jacks, just down from AT&T Stadium.
Now to Trey Betty, brought to you by Asher Wrecker Service, 501-562-2293. Family owned and operated since 1980. Asher Wrecker, dependable towing and vehicle recovery service. Ask for Asher.
Good afternoon, Trey. Good afternoon, Trey.
Hey, guys.
And see what you're missing by not coming on down today.
Well, I've already got autographs from both David Basil and John Neighbors. I've got both their autographs, so I'm good.
Oh. Wow, way to burst my bubble. Burst my bubble. Well, that's okay then. Then you could sit here and we could talk and we could talk. What's the new term now? Chop it up. Where did that term come from? Chop it up. Chop it up.
I don't know, but I don't think I've ever used it.
Well, I mean, we've chopped up audio, we've chopped up video, but I've never chopped up words. They sound like it's chopped up. Sometimes chopped up at times.
Yeah. You know, I have a funny autograph story. I was speaking at this deal, and it was a tip-off club in North Little Rock, and they brought a basketball to me and said, "Hey, we'd like you to sign this basketball, and we're gonna, auction it off." And they handed it to me, and I said, well, Mike Anderson signed this basketball. It's got Mike Anderson's signature on the shirt, and they're like, "Yeah, we want you to sign it too." And I just felt so weird signing a basketball that was signed by Mike Anderson, but somewhere in someone's house right now, there's a basketball that's signed by Mike Anderson and me.
That's pretty good, though. That's pretty good company right there. Pretty good company right there.
Yeah. Well, there are certain people that I feel like maybe my signature belongs next to, but I don't know about Mike Anderson.
I can understand. I think I would be uncomfortable too. I think I would be uncomfortable too. You're right. Okay. Rick is not on, so I get to use this phrase again. Ray, I love it when Rick's not on. I love it when Rick's not on, so I can use this phrase. The hay is in the barn.
It is. It's got to be. It's got to be at this point, and we'll see what happens. I mean, you guys know my score prediction. My score prediction is heartache. I mean, and I'm just going to go with that narrative. And I thought Rick put it well yesterday when I was talking about, I've got, instead of, staying at the hotel, cancel my hotel room when it was announced at 11 o'clock. And I saw that 6:12 a.m. flight, and I was like, I'm going to zip in and then watch the game. And then I got a night flight out, and Rick was just like, yeah, just might as well add a little, travel torture to your schedule just to make it a little less enjoyable. Because I do tell myself every year I'm not going to go. And I know it's a great venue for the fans, but it's just been, it's been so bad for Arkansas. I think back to that 2017 year when they came out with those half Dallas Cowboys, half Arkansas jerseys.
Oh, man.
And Jeff Long said, how do you honor a guy that has everything? And I saw these jerseys, and I was just like, that's it. That's the way to do it. You know what would have been a great way to honor him? Not dropping the 6th in a row.
That's right.
The Aggies in that series. Yeah, I think that was another overtime. They had 3 overtime
50-42.
losses.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50. Yeah, something like that. 3 overtime losses over a 4-year span. And I can remember, you mentioned David Basil, and David will remember this because we talked about it. I think it was the 3rd time it happened where we were down on the field standing underneath the goalpost, and it was always the same goalpost where Texas A&M beat Arkansas in overtime. And 3 out of those 4 years, David and I are standing next to each other and just like, well, this feels awful familiar, I remember one year when it was close, I just refused to go down to the field just because I didn't want to be the jinx. But, yeah, and I tell myself that I'm not going every year, but I end up talking myself into it anyway. And that's my strategy. Arkansas can win the game. I think 100% they can. It could come down to who has the ball last. They can't keep having penalties and things like that. But I'm just going to take this approach to expect heartache and disappointment. And if anything else happens, then great. But that's where I am right now with this series. It's just not been – they're 1-10 against these guys after absolutely dominating the series back in the old Southwest Conference days. And then when Arkansas left, they won 3 in a row against them in Arlington. But since Texas A&M has been part of the SEC in 2012, it's just been it's been a disaster for Arkansas. And that's been an awful stretch. 2012 through 2020 was the worst stretch in Arkansas history, and you can dice that up. You can chop that up, Randy, any way you want it. You can do the worst 5-year stretch in Arkansas history. You can do the worst 2-year stretch in Arkansas history. It's all in that grouping. So, yeah, it hasn't been pleasant. for Arkansas. And in this series, just kind of encapsulates a lot of that. So, yeah, we're going to go into this one just expecting a great game and heartache at the end. And if it happens the other way, then we'll be elated.
I am thankful now for more reasons now than just what I stated. The hay is in the barn. The hay is in the barn. Just what you said a moment ago. You basically said you were superstitious and you were not going to go down on the field. Well, Rick would have totally told you you're wrong. You're wrong. You can't.
Rick doesn't believe in superstition.
There's no such thing as there is no such thing as. I'm glad you didn't get chided for that. I'm glad you didn't get chided for that. There's so many positives.
That's just Rick's opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Rick doesn't know that for sure.
Exactly. Well, exactly. I believe it. You believe it. Okay. I am very superstitious. I am very superstitious.
I think for sports, superstition puts you in a routine.
I agree.
Put you in a routine that reminds you to do stuff. I think it can be beneficial for athletes. Probably not me. I mean, I have no bearing really on what's going on in the game. But for athletes, I think, and Rick should know. I mean, Rick's a big baseball guy. There's no more superstitious people than baseball players.
That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna start using that. I'll tell Trey. I'm gonna tell my wife that Trey Biddy said that superstition is just getting into a routine, and she's not going to believe it. She's going to say Trey lost his mind. So, but you were the only hogsports.com staff writer that picked the Razorbacks to lose, and I got to agree with you. Even though when I did my write up today that I picked them to win 31-27, it seems to be a consensus that it's going to be a high scoring game, as opposed to 14-13, like last year LSU game. Or the last couple of years with Arkansas, Texas A&M, where 20 points has been the deciding factor. With Max Johnson at quarterback, Arkansas has film on him, of course, from last year. But this secondary needs to be better than it was last weekend if they want a chance to win.
No question. I mean, the results last weekend really dropped Arkansas down to kind of familiar territory. They're 10th in the SEC now, and passing yards surrendered. I think they're 12th in efficiency. And defensive pass efficiency, and largely because of that game. Some guys didn't play bad. Jalen Braxton graded out on Pro Football Focus higher than anybody. I think that's maybe a reason we might expect to see a little bit more of him. He just had 25 snaps. I think he was only targeted one time, but he had a nice pass deflection in that one. It's Singletary that gave up. He had a rough game. He gave up 3 touchdowns, 140 yards. That's like 44% of their total yardage. Was given up by guys that Singletary was covering. He's better than that. He's a former 5-star. He's got great size, 6'2", 187. He's a better player than that, and he's still young, and Arkansas has to get better play out of him. They just do. McLaughlin, he gave up 38 yards total. Didn't have a bad game, but he didn't have a great game either. I mean, he did have the interception. That was big, but you got to get better play from your secondary. And, again, LSU has out-of-this-world wide receivers and a great quarterback in Jaden Daniels. He's a great college quarterback. Max Johnson, you're going to expect to see a lot more West Coast principles in this game, more check down stuff. But this guy's very experienced. I mean, he
was good last week, too.
Started. Yeah. I mean, he started basically an entire year at LSU also. I mean, so – and Arkansas faced him last year as well. And, defense played pretty well against A&M last year. They only gave up, 2 touchdowns and a field goal?
Yep.
Yeah, and then they had the defensive touchdown also. So Arkansas played pretty well against them on defense. Just, once again, didn't get the job done. Texas A&M always seems to make one more play than Arkansas does.
One more thing. KJ had a breakout last week at over 280 yards passing. Seems to be more comfortable. Luke has John Mackey Award tight end of the week. Can they get Isaac Teslaw going a little bit? It seems like they try to get him. He had a phenomenal catch over the middle where he showed off that 40-something inch vertical leap. Is it just he's having trouble getting open or just wrong progression? What do you see in that, Trey?
Well, I think that, Kent State, bracketed him, and try to take him away after he had a really good opening game against Western Carolina. And he just hasn't been prolific at all. I don't know exactly the reason why. I think he's got a world of talent, but yeah, we just haven't. I couldn't tell you exactly why. Andrew Armstrong has really come along well. We saw more of Tyrone Broden. I think we'll see some Isaiah Satania based on Sam Pittman's comments earlier in the week. But yeah, I would like to see. I know that he's got the ability to make bigger plays and be, more of a regular target than he's been so far.
Drake, I got to believe there's going to be a lot of cat and mouse that's going to go on between Travis Williams and Bobby Petrino. Bobby watched that tape last week of the game with LSU. You mentioned how Singletary had his fits. What adjustments do you think Travis is going to make to his defense going into this game with Texas A&M?
Yeah, you think we'll see more zone? I don't know.
I would think so. I would think so.
Yeah, maybe so. And then on the other side with Petrino, he's got all his best stuff, right? He's got all his best stuff saved up for this one.
Yep, sure.
He's got a stretch coming ahead.
You think so?
Look at the Missouri State game last year. Arkansas was down 27-17 with 12 minutes to go, something like that. And look at how the next 4 games went for Missouri State, all against FCS opponents. They lost every single one of them. They almost knocked off Arkansas and lost every single one of the next 4 games. So I would think that Petrino has a space in a lot of Razorback fans' head because, he went out when he was on top. We never got to see, any kind of fall from grace. Well, we saw a fall from grace, but not on the field.
Right.
And, so in a lot of people's heads, he, in Arkansas fans especially, he can kind of do no wrong. And I get that 100%. He was great when he was at Arkansas. And I'm sure he would like probably that idea to continue. So I think we're probably going to see some things that maybe we haven't seen yet out of that offense. And they have the weapons. There's no question about it. You look at, Stewart at wide receiver, Anais Smith, who's been there. This is his 5th year there. It seems like you said, Randy, yesterday, he feels like he's been there forever.
Yeah.
Lost at running back. They've got some really talented players. The position group on their team that's probably, you would say from a recruiting standpoint, is the least talented per capita, I guess, is the offensive line. Well, they've got 2 top 100 players on their offensive line also. So it's, Texas A&M has recruited extremely well, especially, they always have recruited well, and it hasn't really mattered as much in this series, but lately they've taken it to another level. Now, they're younger, I think, overall than Arkansas. They've got some veteran players too, but they're younger, I think, overall than Arkansas is. So maybe that's an area that they can gain an advantage. I still feel like Arkansas's defensive line is really, really good. If they don't win the matchup, then, I don't think anybody's pushing them around. I'll say that in this conference. And there are some really good teams in this conference. I think Arkansas's roster is good enough to win this game. I think it's veteran enough to win this game. But you can't have double-digit penalties. You just can't. You can't miss field goals in games like this when it's going to be such a close result. You just can't. And, all of those things. It's always those little things like that. It's a decision here and there. It's a 4th down. Do we go for it or do we kick it? Those types of things decide the outcomes of games like this. And Arkansas so far has generally made the wrong decisions or didn't step up at a major moment in the game, and Texas A&M has. There's been plenty of games over this stretch where you walk away, you're saying like, man, they had it. They should have won this game. They outplayed them. How did they lose the game? Last year, I thought that Arkansas was easily better than Texas A&M when that game showed up. But that one play changed everything. It's always something. It's got to change.
Going back to gosh, maybe ever since Jimbo has arrived at A&M, they have been stacking great recruiting classes on top of great recruiting classes. Yet they have experienced a ton of turnover through the transfer portal. Is that talent still at that top five bottom as it was? Saying a minute ago, you felt like Arkansas had the more talented team last year. You still feel that way this year because again, if you just simply go by what has been occurring, they are someone has had tremendous success on the recruiting trail.
They have, I think Arkansas was older and more veteran, and they had KJ Jefferson. I think that, tilts the odds a little bit too. But yeah, there's no question that their team talent grade is up there. I mean, they do a great job recruiting, and, at the same time, Jimbo has not done a great job there coaching with the talent that they have. I mean, he's had one really good year. In this year 6 for him. Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, he's dramatically underachieved. I don't believe Texas A&M fans are being disappointed. I mean, they're right up there with Georgia, Alabama in terms of the roster on the talent. They're right there with them in terms of recruiting grades. And I mean, last year they didn't go to a bowl game.
It's hard to believe. Hard to believe with that.
That is hard to believe. 5-7. 5-7. Let's talk with Jeff.
Jeff, according to the team talent composite, is 4th in the nation. Right there with Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Clemson, Texas. Those are the top 6. LSU 7th.
Wow.
They have 10 5-stars on their roster and 42 4-stars.
Jesus.
Wow. Jeff, good afternoon. You have a question or comment for Trey.
Van Pascal's led Heber Springs to 2 wins in a row. Just wondering if he could get another win. I was actually a football high school question. I don't know if that's for Trey or not.
All right.
After the break.
We'll get that in a moment. Unless Trey wants to comment on that. Yeah, I got you.
They won't be doing much passing tonight. So yeah, that's.
I got you. Now here is the other. This is the benefit. Trey of the Bud Light Blue Book. To me, it is a peek. It is into the Razorback mind, what they are believing, what they're thinking, and interesting enough, most of the predictions, all different means yesterday. Had this what would be relatively a high scoring game. I bet you I saw half a dozen, at least 38-31 type of. I know yours wasn't that high. Are you seeing it more of a defensive? I mean, today when a game is in the 20s, to me, you almost have to call that a defensive struggle anymore.
Yeah, I mean, what did I pick? 25-24, something like that.
Something
I think
like
I went
that,
officially.
Something like that, yeah.
28-27.
Yeah, 28-27. Yeah.
I think he was 25-24.
I averaged it out over the last 3 years.
Yeah, that's what you did. Yeah, that's what you did.
Points, and Arkansas's average is 24. But I think today on our Hog Sports deals, I think I went 28-27, Texas A&M. Just because I guess than 25. But I think it'll be a battle defensively. For some reason, I always think 11 o'clock games are going to be a little lower scoring. I don't know why I feel that way, but I feel like they kind of go by faster. So yeah, I'm going to go 28-27 ish, I guess. And guys, this also, I said this before, but like neutral site games should not be 11 o'clock.
Absolutely
not. Absolutely not.
4 out of the last 6 times it's been in this venue, it's been 11 o'clock.
Well, I'm not happy about it. I'll tell you that. What does that matter? That means you got to be at the airport about 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, well, not quite that early. My flight leaves at 6:12, so, but I got to be up at 4 something. So, yeah, add a little torture to myself. Why not?
All right, Trey. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, Trey. We'll see you tomorrow.
When she joins Morning Mayhem each Thursday morning. Serving Central Arkansas, facility maintenance services. We don't cut corners, we clean them.
At Edwards Food Giant, they know your family is important, and they also know that your time and convenience is as well. So why not take advantage of their heat and eat items in their deli department? Those famous Edwards Food Giant signature dishes with many of the same entrees and recipes that are served daily in the hot bar, all ready to take home and serve to your family tonight. And it can all be found at your favorite Central Arkansas Edwards Food Giant deli. This week's special is spaghetti for only $7.49 per pound, paired with seasoned green beans for just $4.49 per pound.
Fresh off their summer lineup of convertible sports cars, tomorrow night, Saracen is giving away the king of luxury pickups, Toyota's new Tundra Capstone from Trotter Toyota. The Tundra Capstone is the ultimate in luxurious trucks, and it can be yours just for playing your favorite games at Saracen Casino Resort. Only 40 minutes from Little Rock and only at Saracen tomorrow night.
Saracen Casino Resort, Vegas, Arkansas style.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The Grove Hunting Club in Jefferson County has over 12,000 acres of waterfowl hunting just a short hour away from Little Rock. The Grove recently added a new pro shop and 4 bedrooms to their 13,000 square foot main lodge. The main also has a custom locker room. The Grove added 4 new private cabins for couples, or you can stay in the second lodge that's 1,800 square feet. Book your next hunting trip at The Grove. Call 870-692-3221 or email thegrovehuntingclub@gmail.com.
Hi, neighbor. It's Garen with Shamrock Roofing. Fall is upon us. Don't go into the cold, wet winter months wondering if your roof will hold up till spring. Get peace of mind today. For the next 30 days, we're offering a free impact-resistant roof upgrade. Plus, if you've been denied coverage by your insurance company after the storms, you qualify to win a new roof for free. Just visit shamrockroofer.com for more details. Shamrock Roofing, where one call does it all, at shamrockroofer.com.
Power, drive, and size. It's found in college sports and in the all-new 2023 Cadillac Escalade. I'm Rachel Parker Harding for Parker Cadillac and the most powerful full-size SUV in the industry, the 2023 Cadillac Escalade. With a 6.2-liter supercharged V8 engine and available Super Cruise technology. Level up to more cargo space with the extended wheelbase Escalade ESV. Shop now at parker-cadillac.com.
With over 350 land specialists in 40 states, Whitetail Properties Real Estate is the premier rural real estate company in North America. And Mike Poore, your local Whitetail Properties land specialist, combines local expertise with the Whitetail Properties national reach to reach more buyers who are looking for hunting land, farmland, and rural homes. So if you're thinking about selling, you need to give Mike Poore a call today at 501-428-7177 or visit whitetailproperties.com.
Live from the Eat My Catfish studios, you feed your crave for sports by listening to Drive Time Sports. Much like you feed your crave at any of the 7 Eat My Catfish locations. You're in hog heaven. This is Drive Time Sports, a presentation of the Buzz Radio Network.
I am always looking for the oasis that I can't find. Here in Arlington, I have to wait till I get back into Arkansas before I can find the oasis I call Double B's. Because there, I know they've got everything that will quench my thirst, hopefully satisfy my hunger, or maybe to get my day started off right with no cup of coffee. They just don't have it here. There is no oasis that I can depend upon, such as I can back home with Double B's. And then talking about the food options, we always, as Kevin mentioned earlier, this is a group here on Drive Time Sports that loves to eat. I have been loading up almost daily with the assorted Little Debbie products, all the way from the honey buns to the strawberry shortcake. I made the other day that the other day. Strawberry shortcake is taking over in that top spot. But they've got more than just those little Debbies. And the month of September is quickly, and I do mean quickly, it is quickly coming to a close. So if you're looking for a great place to eat, your oasis to quench that thirst, it is Double B's. It's where you gas it, grab it, and go and make it Double B's. Welcome back to our Football Friday. We're going to change gears for just a moment.
Now, let's go to Arkansas's premier basketball recruiting analyst, Kevin Hoop Scoop McPherson, for all the latest news for anything and everything basketball. Made possible by Fence Brokers. Fence Brokers, going the extra mile.
Well, Kevin, you had a chance to see this team for 2023-24 up close and personal. Let's get your thoughts and any other observations you may have had. What basically we'll call media day for the Arkansas basketball Razorbacks.
Yeah, that was yesterday afternoon. We got about 45 minutes in the Basketball Performance Center as media getting to watch. We walked in and they were doing drill work. We got to see a good bit of 5-on-5 live scrimmaging as well. I guess the thing that stood out to me was Joseph Bennett and Jeremiah Davenport going back and forth on that live 5-on-5, just knocking down threes. And, you really have to, you're hard pressed the last couple of years to really pick one hog who could just kind of come down and let it rip from three and just continue to do that. And you had two guys in one practice. Yeah, it was one practice, but it indicates what we've been talking about, that I think they really focused in the offseason on going out and getting more shooters. Of course, Pinion was a freshman last year, and he helped Arkansas when called upon with that shot, helped space the floor because he's effective shooting three. But, so that really was probably the first thing. I mean, the red, the team in red jerseys, which was Davenport was on that team. Pinion with the white jerseys. They in the 5-on-5 when they were keeping score, the red ended up winning 15-12. But Davenport and Pinion had most of those points for their teams. You saw Jalen Graham doing some work, doing what he does, getting to the basket, using that pivot foot, spinning, going one direction, spinning the other to get to the basket. Devo Davis slashing the basket. Those were probably your better offensive players. I thought Tremont Mark looked good with decision-making, not only defense, but decision-making. There were some plays that he and Devo Davis made. Even Ellis, who, by the way, guys, he's a scorer and a facilitator. He led Louisville last year in both those categories, points and assists. He really didn't look to shoot the ball. He was primary handler for the team wearing red jerseys. And he was looking to pass and had some really nice drives into the paint and then kicking out. Again, I think Arkansas, is looking to take advantage of some of that perimeter shooting that the Hogs have added because everything was so difficult last year. It seemed like they had to get downhill and then maybe finish that way or get to the free throw line to score. But now they can open things up. And, it's not just half court, it's transition. When you got guys that can run to the wings in transition, it makes it harder to defend and teams to get back because now you got to pick and choose. Do I stay with this guy? Do I give up a three? But I think in that regard, things look better. The other thing was, Trevor Brazil did not do the live 5-on-5, Randy. He did some drill work. He looked good in the drill work, but he's not up to speed yet for full contact. Musselman told us after practice, I asked him, and he said his target date is about 2.5 weeks out. But then he called that a moving target. He goes, you know how that can be. Sometimes you have to move those, change expectations, and things can change. But maybe 2.5 weeks away from where he's going full contact. Now, not coincidentally, but the red-white game is next week. So I'm assuming, based on what Musselman's saying, we won't see Trevor Brazil participating in that. October 20th is when Arkansas will host Division II Texas Tyler. That's around about the time that Musselman's projecting where Brazil will be ready to go and practice 5-on-5. So I'm not sure yet if we'll see him in that game, if he'll get they'll push that button and let him play in that. And then we know Arkansas's got its final exhibition, a charity exhibition game against Purdue on October 28th. So It looks like Brazil's going to be ready at some point this month to resume that in practice, but we'll see if they allow him to play in either of the exhibition games. And, of course, the first game in the regular season is November 6th. But going back to what we saw in practice, Musselman talked about the team really wanting to push the ball and run more this year. I thought last year's team should have been better in transition than it probably was. But I think that's a point of contention this year is to play fast, try to get into transition where you're not always relying on things working in your half court. And I saw some of that in the live 5-on-5 where Arkansas really, after a defensive rebound, a quick pass ahead to get the ball, maybe get a numbers advantage and get ahead of the defense. And so we saw some of that. A guy like Cliff Battle, who's missed a lot of practice time, kind of quiet yesterday. Didn't shoot a lot. I thought there were times where maybe he tried to force a little bit and he's still figuring out timing, figuring out what defenders are doing. And so I thought he was just maybe a little bit off. If I had to bring one thing that you could look at as a negative, I don't even think it's as much of a negative because I thought he played good defense and didn't try to do too much. There was just a couple of times maybe where he turned the ball over. Keon Minifield Jr., his quickness. Now, he's not going to play this year. He's redshirted. But, man, his quickness and playing on the ball, he did a good job at times of attacking with the ball and using that quickness to create space and to get a numbers advantage and to get some leverage getting downhill. So I thought that was an interesting dynamic. Leighton Blocker was not at practice. Wisdom tooth extraction was what Musselman told us. So we did not see Leighton Blocker, the freshman. Dave Fall did some good stuff, Randy. Contesting shots, defensive rebound. He knocked down a three. When he looked for his own offense, he pulled up and nice looking stroke, confident, and it went in. There's more stuff, but I think really to me, what I started with, Joseph Pinion looked outstanding, not only shooting from three but getting to the rim. Had a nice little nifty baseline move where he got walled off on his drive underneath the basket and just turned the other direction and flipped the ball in, had a dunk. And then Jeremiah Davenport, his range, it reminds me of Isaiah Joe. And he's so quick on his release. He's not dribbling and doing a lot of extra movement to get into his shot. It's just quick off catch and shoot. And you look up, you're like, man, that was from 25 feet at least, and he's splashing it. So I thought the shooting with Pinion and Davenport stood out above everything else.
This almost sounds like a football question to a degree, Kevin. But which position group look to have the greatest amount of depth? I mean, there was a while we kept thinking, gosh, all he's doing is signing these 1-2 type of players, and yet you still got some size inside with Brazil, with Mitchell and maybe Davenport, and so forth and so on. What position group, if you will, do you feel like they will have the most depth in?
Well, when you're watching that 5-on-5, the first thing that the group that comes to mind is the backcourt. Mm-hmm. That's because Brazil wasn't taking part, and Mekhi Mitchell was limited as well. And so when you add those two guys in with Jalen Graham, I like what I saw from Chandler Lawson. I didn't mention him. He did some good things. Denaje Harris. Those are two veteran forwards that have come in. So numbers-wise, overall, it's going to be the backcourt. And that was even more pronounced because of guys not going full contact on that front line yesterday. Even though Blocker was out, you still saw a lot more from that 1, 2, and 3 spot. But I think this is probably, when you look at it, 1 through 5, Musselman has more options now at each position. And so when we talk top 6, 7 rotation, he's got more options at the back end of that rotation. I think, outside the top 3 or 4 guys on the team, usually each season you can identify top 2 or 3 guys, maybe 4 deep. And then after that, you're wondering, well, who, defense is probably what he defers to when he's rounding out that top 7 rotation. That's probably not different this time around, but I think he's got more options, especially when he's gotten better with guys that can shoot the ball. It's going to give Arkansas opportunities, I think, offensively to go deeper in that back end of that rotation. Because I can say this, if Joseph Pinion to me looks stronger, he's obviously improved. I think he's more confident in that knee. I think he's getting better defensively. I think there's still stuff to work on there. But he's a guy to me, just based on what I've seen, Like last year, he came in a couple of games in SEC play to help Arkansas turn things around. But other than that, he really didn't factor in. He's a guy to me, among others, that are going to make a strong case for that 7 or 8 spot and maybe better. I think they've just got more options in that roster at every position right now, Randy, when everybody's healthy.
And that brings up this question because I don't think it's any question Jalen Graham can be a force on the offensive end, but it seems like his defense has been his Achilles heel. Did you see improvement from Jalen Graham on the defensive end?
I see the effort. Last year, sometimes he didn't get back in transition, and you always question effort because you don't have to be the most talented guy. I mean, you look at Bobby Portis, not the most physically gifted guy, but man, he gets up and down because it's effort. And you just have to be locked in and thinking about how important that is. And so I did notice yesterday, Jalen Graham seemed more locked in his assignments. He seemed to have, more attention to the detail when the ball wasn't in his hands on offense. But it was it's limited practice time. And Musselman's been talking about how his work ethic has improved. How he takes it more seriously this year. And that's what it looked like in the window that I saw. They had a drill where they were throwing the ball, close to the out of bounds, and guys had to hustle to save it in, either dive on the floor or jump out of bounds and save it in before it landed. And he was working really hard in everything they went through. So, this is a guy that's got a chance to improve his lot in that front line rotation. Because really, when you look at the veterans, Tim, Brazil, and Mekhi Mitchell, they fall being a true freshman.
All right, Kevin, hang on. We got to take the break. That is part one. Kevin McPherson, better known as Hoop Scoop, courtesy of Hogville.net. Thanks again to our friends at Finch Brokers, Chris Walker and Company. Our Football Friday will continue in just one moment.
Register and make your picks now for the Bud Light SEC Pick'em Challenge. Go online at 1037thebuzz.com and pick the team you think will win each week for your chance to win.
I can feel it, and I know you can too. Friday night fun starting to take shape. Here, Carlton, at Saracen Casino, the fun tomorrow night's going to be even bigger. So you got all day today and you got all day tomorrow to get your entries in for the capstone giveaway. Toyota Tundra pickup. This thing is beautiful. And you got free play giveaways tomorrow night, too.
It is beautiful. But you're right. We're really starting to build up to it. So, you've got football on TV. You've got all our restaurants open. We could probably fit you into Red Oak if you call. Might be at the bar. Usually the place is just chock full with reservations. But call Red Oak. See if you can't slide into Arkansas's best restaurant. Have a heck of a meal. Play a few games. Earn a couple of extra points for entries into the drawing. And just have a good time. Come see us. We're 40 minutes away from Little Rock. We want to see you. And tomorrow night, we want to see you again because we're giving away a Toyota Tundra capstone from our friends at Trotter Toyota. Come see us. Come have some fun. Come win some money. Come win a truck at the Saracen.
These days, interest rates are out of control and car payments are at record levels. It's different at Gwatney Buick GMC. They've taken their inventory to the nines. Right now, get super low interest on GMC Sierra, Buick Encore GX, and GMC Terrain. On top of a low 0.9% on GMC Sierra, Gwatney is offering an additional $3,250 off when trading in a 2009 or newer vehicle. Plus, if you haven't noticed, the holidays and all the expenses that come with them are right around the corner. Shop Gwatney Buick GMC today and have no car payments for the rest of the year. No payments until 2024. Sierras with 5.3 V8 engine at just 0.9% APR. Additional $3,250 off Sierra when trading in a 2009 or newer vehicle. 2024 Buick Encore GX at 2.9%. 2023 GMC Terrain at 1.9%. Gwatney Buick GMC, Pulaski County's only Buick GMC dealer. GMC, we are professional grade.
Good evening, everybody. I guess if you think about it, technically weekends are Saturday and Sunday. But man, around here, we got to include Friday nights too, especially when the fun's as exciting as it is this weekend. Saracen Casino, this is the monthly vehicle giveaway weekend.
I don't know about you. Friday is definitely part of the weekend, right? at least about 4:30, 5 o'clock Friday weekend kicks in.
There you go.
If you don't have plans tonight, here's your plans. Grab somebody, your spouse, your significant other, your buddy. hop in the car. And here's an idea. On the way down, whoever's not driving, well, they can figure out your picks on the Bet Saracen app because you're going to have 40 minutes on 5:30, and then you'll be here. And when you're here, we've got 2,000 slot machines, table games, poker room, incredible restaurants waiting, and you've got a job. Your job is to earn points and entries for tomorrow night because you're going to come back tomorrow night and someone's going to win a Toyota Tundra pickup. Come see us at the Saracen.
Now, back to Drive Time Sports, live from the Eat My Catfish studios. Eat fresh, eat local, eat my catfish. Drive Time Sports, tapped with refreshing sports opinion on the Buzz Radio Network.
Welcome back to our football Friday. Today, Boomer Jacks. Arlington, Texas. Arlington, Texas. From AT&T Stadium. We'll be here till 7 o'clock. Tomorrow. Well, let's see. Kevin did math with me. 3.5 hours, 4.5 hours. I'm guessing around 3:30. We will be on the air with the First Security 5th quarter post-game show right here from Boomer Jacks. So come on down, enjoy the game, and then enjoy all the festivities, hopefully tomorrow afternoon here at Boomer Jacks.
It sounds like we lost.
By the
Randy
way,
right here on Drive Time.
we are into that now official fall.
Let's go back. Big game in Class 6A. Marion and
specials you're going to find.
This game, Marion's won 3 out of the last 4.
Equipment.
Benton won a big one, 55-13 last year. Let's talk about this one for the 6A East League.
Have a full line of residential and commercial mowers, the gasoline and diesel engines. They also offer smart zero-turn mowers, by the way, manufactured right there in Batesville, Arkansas. And forget the Bobcat zero-turn mowers. So, as you can easily see, there is a full line that will
all right,
fit any
let's go to the phone line. We got Shane in Benton. Shane, welcome to our Football Friday.
Or residential.
Yeah,
Don't forget the Greenworks zero-turn mowers, and they also have those.
Well, we're having some technical difficulties with Randy out there,
as well.
And Kevin's on hold with us right now. We'll have him on in just a minute. You got a question or comment?
Financing is available with approved credit, and that is Henry Foothills Equipment, 501-268-1987.
Okay.
501-268-1987, 1920. South Main Street in Searcy.
Okay.
Your hometown dealer, no matter where.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Yeah, we had a guy ask about Layden Blocker.
Yeah, the freshman.
Now, let's go to Arkansas's.
Go ahead.
Now, let's go to Arkansas's premier basketball recruiting analyst, Kevin Hoop Scoop McPherson, for all the latest news for anything and everything basketball.
Thanks again
possible by
Fence Brokers for making
Fence
Kevin
Brokers
McPherson
going
possible.
the extra mile.
Thanks to Chris
All right, we
and
got
the gang.
FBI
And I
in
just
there.
accidentally hung up
Yep,
on him.
still with us.
Okay. Maybe he'll call back. My bad.
All right,
My
Kevin's
bad.
dropped off. So
All right, Bear, let's squeeze in
we
a
will go
football
back to
question
our
real
Football
quick.
Friday
This
real
from
quick.
William.
Southside
He wants to
and
know
Bentonville, another
about
7A West matchup there. Southside dropped that
Haskell
close
Harmony
to the Rogers
Grove
44
and
38
Lamar.
last week. Bentonville 2-2 on the season, 1-0 in conference play. Bentonville's losses are to Conway and KC Rockhurst. I got Rogers in a close one in this one, Bear.
Rogers at Fayetteville, and then we were talking about Southside and Bentonville.
Yeah, Southside and Bentonville. Excuse me, Southside. Yeah, Bentonville should handle this one.
Southside's got 2 playmakers in Mari Tucker and Isaac Gregory, but boy, Bentonville. I believe Bentonville, they're going to be able to contain Tucker and defensively play pretty good. They gave up a lot of points last week to Harbor, 73-39. That was the highest scoring game in the state last week. Let's see what Bentonville's defense does. Hoops.com is picking Bentonville, but a little leery of this pick right now. Ready to see what the Tigers can do.
A game that was very close in the 2-4A last year. Actually, Lone Oak was winning against Harding Academy. Harding Academy ended up coming back. This game is in Searcy tonight at First Security Stadium. What about Harding Academy and Lone Oak?
Yeah, I think Harding Academy playing as well as anybody right now in the state. 4-0 record, passing the ball, of course, so well. We talk week after week about Owen Miller, what he brings to the table. Lone Oak's kind of the enigma. They've got Braden Allen. They've got a Division I lineman, Marquise Jackson, maybe a college prospect in the backfield. They can't put it together always, though, all the time. And Hootens.com picks Harding Academy over Lone Oak.
And Isaac Baker has turned into a formidable running back in that backfield. Dual threat with running the ball and receiving. He had 4 touchdowns last week, about 200 yards in total offense. So Owen Miller can spread it out to just about anybody. He's got Jack City. He's got Isaac Baker. Then he's got Kyler Hoover out there who's committed to Harding to play baseball. So Hoover's had a really good last 2 weeks. Hoop Scoop, are you back with us?
I think I may have had one of the best ad. I may have had one of the best ad libs of all time. For Hendrick Foothills, but nobody heard it.
Hey,
as you well know, with our technology, you never know when you're on or off. I apologize for that. We took short break. Now, did you hear the line that I played for Kevin a moment ago?
We did. We got that. We got Hoop Scoop back on. We had a caller that asked about Layden Blocker, the freshman. So, Hoop Scoop, take it away.
Yep, Layden Blocker was the one player that didn't practice yesterday. He practiced the day before because a source that was able to attend practice said they saw him practice and he looked good. And the day after we're there, the media was for the live look-in for about 45 minutes, and he was the one player who was out. Musselman said after practice that he was out for wisdom tooth extraction. So we didn't see him, but I've got to see Layden Blocker come up since 8th grade as a player, and he's a guy that I continue to hear good things about. I know the coaching staff not only likes him, but the older players, well, it's a veteran team this time around, a lot of transfer veteran guards. Devo Davis, a 4th-year guard, and he earned their respect immediately with his work ethic and plays the right way. He competes really well, one of the toughest defenders and rebounders at 6'2", that you'll see out there. So I think he's going to be a guy that can factor in. But, again, we didn't see him at practice. By the way, guys, I want to throw this in. Arkansas had an official visitor come in next week with Keith Passmore, 6'5" wing, and a Combine Academy in North Carolina. I started hearing early in the week through last night that visit may not happen. Then it kind of grew into, well, it's likely not going to happen. Was announced today that visit will not happen. He's instead going to visit Kansas. He released a top 4 yesterday of Arkansas, Kansas, Oklahoma, and LSU. I did not report that because I knew that visit was about to not happen and that Arkansas was going to be out of the mix. So that was reported elsewhere nationally and some other local folks. I stayed away from it because I saw this coming. But Rakeem Passmore no longer coming to visit. Let's keep an eye on Isaiah Elohim, the 6'5" wing out of Sierra Canyon, who just visited Arkansas weekend before last official visit, class of 2024. They've already got one commit, Jalen Shelley out of Link Academy, 6'8" combo forward for 2024. Rakeem Passmore's now out. And so we keep an eye on Isaiah Elohim, who told me just a few days ago he's likely a week to 2 weeks away from making a commitment announcement. He has visited Kansas, Villanova, Arkansas. Those are his final 3. Arkansas got the last visit. And with Passmore now going to visit Kansas, it makes you wonder. I don't think Kansas is really, even though they're in that final 3 with Elohim, I'm not sure that they're as on solid footing as Arkansas and Villanova are. And I think that may be his final 2. I think Arkansas could end up getting Isaiah Elohim. Not projecting right now that they will, but I think they might be in the league.
Out of curiosity, his choice Passmore or Arkansas' choice that Passmore's moving on?
Yeah, well, I'll put it this way, Randy. I was getting it not from the Passmore camp, but from the other side of it early in the week that they were probably going to move on and cancel this visit. And so it was reported today that the player canceled the visit. That's okay. But, I don't think I think that's probably okay.
It happens like that in baseball too. They'll say he decommitted, but the school pulled the offer. Yeah.
Right. So it's just one of those things that I saw this coming based on what I was being told. And so in fact that did get out today.
Okay. I'm just being nosy. I'm just being curious. I mean, I know.
No,
getting it out there. That's good.
I think the other Kevin, kind of understands where that's going.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know.
I don't know. You all should decide who's the other Kevin.
You're the original.
All right. This from our Southern Structural Systems Buzz text line. Carter Knox. Is he taking a visit?
Well, we'll see. The guy that we'll see if he does. The guy that's scheduled and got one set, and we've been able to confirm is Trey Johnson, the top five-star for that 2024 class. October 20th, Arkansas. That's when they host Tyler, University of Texas Tyler, the Division II school, in that first exhibition game. So he'll be able to attend that. That weekend on Saturday, Arkansas is finally back home for a football game against Mississippi State. He'll be able to attend that. So that's a planned official visit for Trey Johnson. We'll see if Carter Knox. Arkansas has been recruiting him for a while. We'll see if he follows through and there's actually a visit.
All right. Might as well go for it, right? All right, Kevin, enjoy your weekend. We will talk with you next week. That is Kevin McPherson, better known as Hoop Scoop, Hogville.net, Fence Brokers. Football Friday continues. Kevin Bohannon, very good with Putin's Arkansas Football Magazine. I'm Randy Rainwater. Back from Boomer Jacks in a moment.
Really good at it. Like Bert here. He's been lifting weights for over 45 years. He can bench press a 400-pound nose guard, deadlift an elephant, even clean and jerk a truck filled with watermelons. Fantastic rep, Bert. We're a lot like Bert lifting weights, except we do it with insurance. Williamson Insurance, protecting your business and your family for over 45 years.
Hennard Foothills Equipment in Searcy, one of Arkansas's leaders in hay equipment. They handle a full line of Kubota tractors and hay tools, as well as Vermeer hay products. 501-268-1987. Hennard Foothills Equipment in Searcy, your hometown dealer, no matter where you live.
Hey neighbors, come on down to Shamrock Roofing's ribbon cutting Friday, October 6th at the crossroads of Cantrell and Catillus, offering free impact-resistant roof upgrades for the next 30 days. Shamrock Roofing, where one call does it all. ShamrockRoofer.com.
NFL legend Dan Hampton joins Morning Mayhem each week for a little football talk, courtesy of Metro Towing and Recovery and Central Termite and Pest Control.
It's where the big boys come to play.
This is madness. This is Sparta.
103.7 The Buzz, KABZ Little Rock. Buzz News with Channel 7's Cassandra Webb.
The Faulkner County Sheriff's Office is warning people about a spike in car break-ins. They say burglars are breaking into cars, stealing weapons, purses, wallets, laptops, and even keys. They say it's critical to lock all doors to your car and never leave anything inside, even if you're only gone a few minutes. So if you're in Faulkner County and see anything suspicious happening around a car, call the Sheriff's Office. Governor Sanders released $4 million from the state's Disaster Response and Recovery Fund. That money will go to cover costs related to the March 31st tornadoes. A catastrophic twister ripped through miles of central Arkansas that day, destroying thousands of homes and businesses. Another hit the city of Wynne, destroying the high school. The resources freed up by the governor will be used by the director of the Arkansas Division of Emergency Management to pay for program and administrative costs related to the recovery effort. From the Channel 7 Newsroom, I'm Cassandra Webb.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with Channel 7 meteorologist James Bryant.
Temperatures today will again soar into the mid-90s. Look for a high of 94 today at Little Rock with light winds out of the southeast. The hot pattern is going to continue all the way through the weekend. Tonight's low temperatures a little bit more comfortable, down to 67 degrees. From the Channel 7 Weather Center, I'm James Bryant.
Today's special at the Riverfront Steakhouse in the Wyndham Hotel. Dinner for two for $60. Split a 10-ounce filet, fried shrimp, and our famous salad bar.
This is Pat Bradley for River City Flooring, where you can pick your payment. Get 0% interest for 12, 24, or 36 months. And River City Flooring in Maumelle is where you'll save 50% on all in-stock waterproof LVP flooring. And did you know River City Flooring carries cabinets? So stop in and let my friends at River City Flooring help you with your remodel. Kitchen, bath, living, dining, they do it all. Check out River City Flooring in Maumelle at their huge new showroom on Maumelle Boulevard just off 430.
Hello, folks. It's Frank Fletcher from the Fletcher Dodge store here in Sherwood. For the past few months, we've been asking you to give us a chance to buy your cars, and the response has been great. We really appreciate all of you who brought your cars in and turned it into cash. We've purchased hundreds of cars from fine people just like you. Folks, we're still buying cars every day. So look around and see what you or your family has in the garage that you want to turn into cash. It's really easy, folks. Just come into Fletcher Dodge and ask for Chris or Andy. We'll buy any vehicle and we'll pay you more than anyone. We can't find enough vehicles at the auto auctions to meet the demand, so we're extending you this offer to the public. We'll pay you more, so don't wait. We've purchased hundreds of cars from fine people just like you. Come see us today for the best cash offer on your car, truck, van, or SUV. Just ask for Chris or Andy. We'll pay you more, so come see us at Fletcher Dodge on Warden Road in Sherwood. Thanks.
Real estate issue? Business or civil dispute? Hire the Lions. There's no one better to protect your pride than our pride of Legal Lions. Exceptional communication and exceptional results in both the negotiating room and the courtroom. Lion Legal, the legal pride of Arkansas. Call 227-ROAR, and Lion Legal will come roaring to the rescue.
At MNB, our reputation speaks for itself. We won't just tell you that we're the best. We'll prove it with our products, services, and commitment to the communities we serve. Technology is constantly changing, and there are more options than ever right at your fingertips. We'll always offer you the latest in technology, and we'll serve it up with great customer service. So when you bank with us, you know you're covered. You keep moving forward. At MNB, we've got your back. Check us out at mnbbank.com.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Stacked Commercial Truck and Trailer has 5 service trucks available, providing you on-site service to get you back on the road. If that doesn't do it, Stacked has a new state-of-the-art 13-bay shop for service and repair on all Class A trucks, trailers, RVs, light and medium-duty commercial vehicles, tires, brakes, AC, engine repair, transmissions, differentials, and driveline repair. Stacked Commercial Truck and Trailer Repair. Get stacked. 2 miles off 530 exit 34 in Whitehall.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Need a new ride for the big game or a new tailgate to party on? Get in the game at Gwatney Chevrolet in Jacksonville and score every time. Hundreds of vehicles to choose from test drive to touchdown. Gwatney Chevrolet is in it to win your business. Gwatney Chevrolet, 1301 TP White in Jacksonville, Arkansas's #1 Chevy dealer. Call us at 982-2102 or visit GwatneyChevrolet.com. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Live from the Eat My Catfish studios, it's time for Arkansas's #1 caller-driven sports show. It's Drive Time Sports on the Buzz Radio Network with your hosts, Randy Rainwater and Rick Schaeffer. Lock it in and get ready to dial us up. Drive Time Sports is on the air.
Hour number 3 of Drive Time Sports here at the Buzz Radio Network. Welcome to our Football Friday Berry Grooms of Hooters, Arkansas Football Magazine. Kevin Bohannon, Randy Rainwater today from Boomerjacks. Located just down the road from AT&T Stadium. Well, gentlemen, we had Jeff who called right at the beginning of Trey's segment, Trey Biddy's segment. So let's get to the question he was asking, and that is Heber Springs, Bear tonight travels to Ball Knob.
This is a big game as far as Heber Springs is concerned, and Bald Knob as far as playoff positioning and whatnot. Last year, Bald Knob won this game by 5 points, and it knocked Heber Springs out of the playoffs and put Bald Knob in. I know we're still in September, but all these games have consequences down the way. Totally different day at Heber Springs. Van Pascal is the coach. They're playing exceptionally well. They've won 2 in a row. They blanked Cave City 42-0 last week. Liam Buffalo, the junior quarterback, played outstanding. Coach Pascal was able to get him from the hallways back out on the football field. He's quite a dynamic player. And then Parker Brown, of course, he's their workhorse. And Coach Pascal was really proud of Bryce Segrist. He's a sophomore, 130-pound fullback, and he ran for 130 yards and 1 touchdown in his first start. Had never played fullback till last week in practice when Coach Pascal was disgusted with the play back there and just asked who wants to play quarterback, and had Segrist and a couple other guys try out, and he won the job. Now, looking at Bald Knob, the Bulldogs, they had 400 yards of offense, 320 of it was rushing. They had 3 turnovers, beating Barton pretty handily 2 weeks ago. They were off last week. They've really prepped for this running attack of Heber Springs. The game's in Bald Knob. Should go right down to the wire, but Hootens.com picks Heber Springs. And Steve Van Pascal, talking to him on Monday, guys, he said, hey, we're not thinking about just making the playoffs. We're talking conference championship. We're talking making a run at the state championship. He's got these Panthers believing, and hey, he's turned it around everywhere else he's been, Monticello and Martin, everywhere. So he's got Heber Springs heading in the right direction.
Yeah. It was funny because, Barry texted me right after that call and said Van Pascal's on a mission. He, the state's leading active winner as far as wins go. Him and Clay Toddy are right up there, number 1, number 2. So, yeah, he has that mindset, and it's all about developing that culture. And no offense to Todd Wood, he had a championship culture coming from an assistant coach at PA, but Coach Van Pascal, that head coaching experience does matter when you can bring that championship pedigree in. So, Randy, you want to finish up our picks with Barry? We got 3 games left.
Yes.
We go ahead and knock those out real quick.
Yes. Let me get back onto that particular page here. Let's see. There it is right there. And we got as far as Pottsville and Bauxite. That means Kev, you're up next. Win Southside Batesville.
So another one of those big games in the 5A East with both teams coming in 2-0. Nettleton is the other undefeated team in that conference. Should be a quick game tonight with Southside Batesville running that gun T. I call it the K gun. But Wynn playing really well of late. Beat Brooklyn last week 21-17. I got to go with Coach Clay Toddy on the road. Give me the Yellow Jackets.
Can never doubt Coach Toddy, but, his team low in numbers right now. He is draining every bit of effort from these guys every week, and they are laying it out. Having to fight to get where they are, but they're putting up a good battle. But this Southside team is unbeaten. They ran for over 400 yards last week against Forest City. Gabe Witt's a difference maker. He's the move in from Batesville, and he had 133 yards, 3 touchdowns in that game. Hootens.com going with Southside.
Gentlemen, I love it. Thus far, I've had 3 games. Christian, Pottsville, Bauxite win, Southside Batesville so far. 3 on one side, 3 on the other side. I love it. Let's see if we can stay hot to finish this out. All right, now we go to Texarkana at Camden at Fairview. Bear, you're first up.
Well, Arkansas High, Texarkana, they've beaten Fairview 7 of the past 12 years. They're off to their best start since 2007 this season, off to that 4-0 start. That year they won a state championship. Telly Wells, Nate Wall playing well. But Fairview, so athletic, so dynamic with Daryl Adkins, Trent Haygood. Great receiver combination. Look for Fairview to put the ball in the air tonight and test Texarkana's young secondary. Hootens.com picks the Cardinals.
See, Barry made my point for me. Texarkana, Arkansas High, so good. That good start, 4-0. They've beaten some teams handily. Magnolia last week wasn't even close. Camden Fairview's been kind of up and down so far, but Coach Vaughn down there, Nick Vaughn, his staff, they've got a really good product going down there. But I'm going with Texarkana on the road tonight. I like the as Barry knows, is one of the old 4A South slobber knocker matchups. So yeah, give me the Razorbacks on the road.
All right, that means we are down to the fifth and final game right now. 4 on one side, 4 on the other side. So let's finish out strong. Kev, let's go. Rogers at Fayetteville.
All right, last week I picked against Rogers, Fort Smith Southside there on Country Club Road. Almost pulled it out. Rogers had a 75-yard Hail Mary. Dane Williams, one of his 6 touchdowns, 487 yards through the air. What a battle tonight, quarterback battle. Drake Lindsey, 6 touchdowns last week. Dane Williams, 6 touchdowns last week. This score may be 96-94, guys.
Yeah.
But give me the Mounties.
And I agree. We'd said earlier, Kevin, talking about this game, first one to 50 wins. It may be – somebody may have 50 by halftime. These are 2 dynamic offenses. Lindsey looks so comfortable back there, and think he's really, he's got that. He's committed to Minnesota, but I think there's going to be some other programs taking a look at him here over the next month, picking the Fayetteville Purple Dogs and Drake Lindsey.
Did I hear that right? All right. That means either a blowout one way or a blowout the other way. Possibly. I love it. This is the way it's supposed to be, gentlemen. This is the way it's supposed to be. All right, let's check in with Razorback Tom. Tom, good afternoon. Welcome to our Football Friday.
Brother Randy, how are you, man? Long time no hear.
Long time no hear is correct.
Yeah, I still listen. No, the ghost will be with you when it gets closer to Halloween, though. Don't you worry about that. Harry Bear, it's good to hear from you guys too. I was just going to check in with my Northeast alma mater on those Rivercrest Colts tonight. They're playing Harrisburg, and Harrisburg struggling this year, but we are down 6, 7. I've even heard 8 starters tonight. I think we're still banged up from those 5A opponents that we played, but hopefully that pays dividends later in the year if we can get healthy. I just want to hear what you got to say about it, and God bless you guys, and woo pig.
Thanks, Tom.
There you go, Tom. Thank you. Tom. Thank you.
Well, no offense to Harrisburg, but this is a good game for Rivercrest to get some guys healthy, not have to play them the full game. I mean, Cavante Washington, he bailed them out last week in that win over Pocahontas. It was tied at halftime. That game was 20-20, and Rivercrest won by 12 points. Michael Rayner, he may be one of the more unheralded players in the state. I mean, this guy's putting up great numbers every week. Harrisburg had just 57 yards of offense a week ago against Blytheville. Hootens.com picks Rivercrest.
The Bears, I want to stay up in that part of the state in that conference. Truman and Highland, both 3-1 on the season, both 1-0 in conference play. Highland gets the big win over Gosnell last week, 26-25. All of a sudden, this is maybe for a conference title outside of Rivercrest.
Yeah, it's for playoff positioning at least. And thing about the Rebels of Highland, man, they really neutralized Gosnell's defense last week with straight-ahead runs. And Keegan Statler, the junior, he was the big reason for that. He and Zach Huckabee, they spearheaded that offense. So it's going to be a big defensive effort needed, though, to stop Truman and Cade Hatton. 8 carries, 122 yards last week against Jonesboro Westside. Hootens.com picks Truman, but Truman's won 3 in a row. They really feel good, but so does Highland. This is as good as the Highland Rebel faithful have felt in about 6 years.
Well, let's attempt. That is the maximum word. Attempt to catch up on some of our Southern Structural Solutions Buzz text line. This from Clay. England versus Quitman.
Good out of conference matchup here. Quitman comes into the game. And I guess this late in the year, when you're playing these non-conference games, you're trying to tune up, get ready for conference. Yet you got to at least at some point say we got to stay healthy. Quitman is able to pass the football. And I think that's the difference in this game. Quitman's passing ability probably helps it, although England has looked pretty good at times this year. You know, Quitman last week held Newport to 287 total yards, so they're playing decent defense as well. That's why Hootens.com picks Class 3A Quitman.
Battle of the old 3A or AAA Southeast Conference when they had 9 teams back in the late 90s. CrossFit welcomes the Warren Lumberjacks. Warren's passing attack is reminiscent of some of those great Bo Embry teams that won state titles.
Yeah, you're right, Kevin. You just get that feeling. And at Hootens.com, we've said Thomas Thrash down there today to cover this game. We think this is going to be a great game. CrossFit feeling really good, undefeated in conference. Man, they've got their work cut out. And it starts for Warren with the freshman quarterback, Jackson Denton. Had nearly 300 yards and 5 touchdowns last week. Cam Davis, man, he is just really, really a dynamic receiver. 2 touchdowns a week ago for CrossFit. Taylon Pascal's the workhorse. Hootens.com, though, picks Warren at CrossFit. And I agree with you, Kevin. I think this is potentially one of the better teams that Bo Embry's had at Warren.
Now,
we'll see how they go.
The defense, that's the one that gets overlooked. They're only giving up 55 points. It's 13.5 points a game. So the Denton kid at quarterback, has he had any early looks? I know he's only a freshman, but how does he compare to others, in that 2026, 2027 class?
Yeah, I mean, we got a freshman quarterback starting at Warren, a freshman quarterback at Bauxite, a freshman quarterback at Stuttgart. We're seeing that. I think that's going to end up being the year of the quarterback. Very well could be. So, and Jackson, I don't know what looks he's getting. And I remember hearing people really fuss, and I'll never forget some guy I knew really fussing about when Bo Embry was bringing up freshmen named Chris Gregg.
Jarius Ryder.
Jarius Ryder. And some guy named Burks. He said, why is he doing this? He's got seniors who can play, and just let those guys play 9th grade. And, I mean, he knows what he's doing when he brings the freshman up. He's not bringing a guy up just to stand on the sideline. He's bringing a true playmaker up when he promotes a freshman to the varsity.
Another potential superstar. All right, let's check into our other superstar who is standing by. In Searcy tonight for the big matchup with the El Dorado Wildcats. We're talking about Kyle Sutherland. How about those Panthers? No. How about those Lions? Not Panthers, Lions. How about those Lions of Searcy? Taking on those Wildcats. I see if you're paying attention.
Yeah, you were in the same family, so that'll work. But I think, Randy, this is going to be a really good one. You think about the 6A East, and you've got Catholic and West Memphis tonight, Benton and Marion. These two teams, El Dorado and Searcy, are in that 5th and 6th spot right now, and very similar. They're both very young, going to play a lot of juniors and sophomores. Of course, Chris Hill in his first year at El Dorado, but really just two teams that are trying to find their way right now.
Kyle, you got Tyler Strickland, quarterback from Searcy. Seems to be having his best season yet. Talk about how he can control this game for Zach Clark's offense.
Yeah, he's completing 63% of his passes. He's got 2 good junior running backs back there. But with what he's it seems like Jesse Sumter, he and those two have really kind of formed a really good connection right now. Jesse's got 348 yards and 5 touchdowns coming into this game. So with him being the experienced quarterback, Kevin, I think that's definitely going to make it a 2-year starter now. So I think that definitely could make a difference here because, like I said, just between both of these teams, there is so much youth, but you've got that senior quarterback there for Searcy.
But don't you think, Kyle, that it's going to come down to the ultimate success? For Searcy is their ability to play defense. They've got to be able to play defense. They can put points on the board, but you got to stop the other team now and then.
Right, and they did that pretty well up until really Catholic last week when Searcy, I guess you could say they got their toad of humble pie, starting 3-0, and then Catholic really just a lopsided finish there. But that is the case. There was just kind of watching some film this week. Searcy is certainly vulnerable to giving up a big play, but that's kind of the same case with El Dorado that we've seen too. Again, just two teams that midway point through the year, I think that this could really be a changer for them in a good or bad way once this one's over.
Kyle, Chris Hill has always instituted his own culture at all the stops that he's been in, whether it be Northwest, Northeast, South, Central Arkansas. Have you starting to see that from the El Dorado Wildcat team coming off, just recently removed from a state title?
Well, it's definitely different because, a lot of times, especially just within recent memory, people remember the Flexbone when he was the OC at Harding Academy or at Harding University.
Right.
And then, of course, the last 3 years at Sylvan Hills. But now he's back to the spread that he won so many football games with at so many different places. And I think that now it's just you're starting to see that really at that, because this is kind of similar to possibly what we could see. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you think about what he did at Sylvan Hills in 2020. About the midway point in the year, they're sitting at around 500. They go on that big run and make it to the semifinals. So not to look too far ahead now, but I think that it is kind of his fingerprints are really on this program right now. And just kind of watching throughout the first couple of games, you'll see that progress with each game that goes by.
And Kyle, speaking of the Wildcats, they've been blessed with so much talent over the years. Talk about what you see as the talent base that Chris has got to work with now at El Dorado.
Well, of course, you've got Mitchell Polk there, the sophomore quarterback. He's got 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Thomas Smith, the running back there, that's the thing. They've struggled running the football, Randy. They've averaged about around, I think it's 3 to 3.5 yards per carry. So that's kind of where they're trying to get things figured out there. Kind of the same thing again, 400 yards there in 4 games for Polk. So I think that especially with what we've seen from him, just some of there has been some, but again, he makes those sophomore mistakes as we've seen. But I think that really, again, it's just more and more repetition, especially they did play in the spread offense under Stephen Jones, of course. But, again, it's just like Kevin was saying, that new culture into Chris Hill, it's just really coming down to that. And then, again, just these guys, these youngsters getting more and more repetition.
I know that we expected a lot of that Searcy team last weekend against Catholic, maybe possibly a potential upset, but Coach Fogelman's Rockets just took it to them. And Jackson England put on a show 26-28. How does Searcy bounce back from that to get the win at home tonight?
I think, again, just really getting the offense going. Obviously, 2 guys here that run the spread, and Zach Clark and both Chris Hill. Really just watching film this week, I kind of saw some similar formations depending on the package. So I think really it's just about scoring of course, both defenses really I think we could find out some about each side there, but really just about scoring the football and getting on the board first.
All right, Kyle, look forward to the call tonight. 6:45 is when the pregame begins. 7 o'clock with the kickoff. That is our game of the week on our flagship station, 103.7 The Buzz. Thank you, Kyle. All right, let's check in with Patrick. Patrick, good afternoon. Welcome to our Football Friday.
Good afternoon. Hope y'all having fun down in Dallas.
Yes, sir. Getting ready for the big one. Getting ready for the big one.
So Bismarck beat the pants off Jesse'ville last week. Now they go to Paris tonight. Their defense had 3 straight turnovers against Jesse'ville on their first 3 possessions. They're fast on defense, fast on offense. Besides that first game with Prescott, what do y'all think about Bismarck tonight against Paris and for the rest of the year?
Thank you, Patrick.
Patrick got them ranked number 11 in the state. Think this is a pretty good conference with Glen Rose, Bismarck, and Magnet Cove all fighting it out for the first 3 playoff positions. And opposing coaches have said since about week 1, week 2 that on film, Bismarck is one of the fastest teams they've seen. Just super fast at every position, able to take those short plays to the house. And, defensively, you said it all. 55-0 last week over Paris. They looked so good. Or that was last season. Last week is 46-6. They gave up 6 points to Jesse'ville. Looking tonight to Paris, think this could be another give up a touchdown or another shutout type game. Big win for Bismarck, and think the Lions are really marching on toward a pretty good season.
Yeah, I agree. You named the score tonight, Bismarck. They lost good quarterback, 3-sport athlete, and the Smith kid from last season, but they just keep rolling on. I like that matchup for Bismarck tonight, especially even if it is on the road. Paris just struggling a little bit under Jeff Weaver, but they have matched their win total from last year. Let's go to Class 2A real quick. Murfreesboro and Dirks. Murfreesboro, well, we'll get it after the break, but keep this one in your back pocket, Bear. Murfreesboro 4-0 in the season, 1-0 in conference play. Dirks 2-3.
All right. All right. We will step aside for a moment. Come right back with more of our Football Friday. And we'll wrap it up and hand it off to the guys. They're in Searcy for our game of the week between El Dorado and the Searcy Lions. All right. Drive Time Sports will continue in a moment.
In the Zone, brought to you by Elia's Mexican Grill. Headed to the hill, take exit 108 from either direction for award-winning Mexican food made fresh every day. Elia's in Morrilton.
Is there any more satisfying feeling than letting an elevator door close on somebody? I did it at the hotel earlier. I got such a warm rush through my body. It felt like the inside of my body hugged the outside of my body, you know? And then you see it close and you're like, sometimes a second later it opens and you're like,
Comedian Tom Segura, second show added, December 7th, Oakland Racing Casino Resort Event Center. Buy tickets at oakland.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Do you need Rainwater, Holton, Sexton? Anywhere in the state, dial 888-8888. It really is just that easy. If you've been injured and need help, it doesn't matter where in Arkansas you are. Just dial 888-8888. We'll come to you. I'm Mike Rainwater of Rainwater, Holton, Sexton. We have been thankfully serving Arkansans for years, and we appreciate the trust you've put in us. We work hard for you, Arkansas, each and every day. Anywhere in the state, dial 8.
Hi, neighbor. It's Garen with Shamrock Roofing. Have you been denied a new roof by your insurance company after storm damage? You won't be denied at Shamrock Roofing. Give us a call or visit us at shamrockroofer.com. Right now, we're offering a free impact-resistant roof upgrade. Plus, if you've been denied coverage by your insurance company after the storms, you automatically qualify to win a new roof for free. Just visit shamrockroofer.com for details. Shamrock Roofing, where one call does it all at shamrockroofer.com.
Land specialist Mike Poore at Whitetail Properties Real Estate chose forestry as his profession and has been a registered forester for over 30 years. As an accredited land consultant, Mike speaks land. He can help buyers like you find attributes on property that you might have overlooked or not fully understood. He also knows how to market property and negotiate transactions by understanding the needs of each party and providing solutions by being innovative, creative, and diligent. Call Mike Poore today at 501-428-7177. whitetailproperties.com.
I'm Rachel Parker Harding for Parker Cadillac. Get ready to arrive in style on game day in a luxurious certified pre-owned Cadillac. Choose from XT5, XT6, Escalade, or sedan models. Parker Cadillac has the largest inventory of certified pre-owned Cadillacs in Arkansas. Plus, all Parker Cadillac certified pre-owned customers receive 2 years, unlimited miles of complimentary oil changes. For more details, visit parker-cadillac.com.
It's Justin Anker with Laura Beth from Kaufman by Design West, where we always talk about getting everything you need for your home, but they also are your one-stop shop for tailgating. We are so happy football's back, Laura Beth, and Kaufman by Design West has just what you need.
Yeah, we do. We have smokers, coolers, grills, and even solo stoves for all those chilly game days.
So if you want to stock up and get ready for your favorite tailgate, get out to Kaufman by Design West. It's out west past Taylor Loop, 14900 Cantrell Road. You can find out more about all the things they have to offer at kaufmanlumber.com.
Don't miss this trade day event at Zeddy's, sponsored by Home Team Heroes, on September 30th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., located at 146 West South Street in Benton. Don't miss out on this exciting opportunity to trade and collect with fellow collectors. September 30th from 11 to 7.
The Grove Hunting Club, just a short hour away from Little Rock in Jefferson County. 12,000 acres of waterfowl hunting, a main and secondary lodge, along with 4 private cabins. Call 870-692-3221 or email grovehuntingclub@gmail.com.
Live from the Eat My Catfish studios, you feed your crave for sports by listening to Drive Time Sports. Much like you feed your crave at any of the 7 Eat My Catfish locations. For peace of mind, share with us a piece of your heart. This is Drive Time Sports on the Buzz Radio Network.
All right, welcome back. To our football Friday. As we are trying to put the finishing touches on this show, setting up our kickoff in the moment with El Dorado and the Cersei Lions. I'm not in the autograph booth that I've been talking about with David and John. But a lot of folks have stopped by. Kevin, you had a chance to see it. It is the double R ring that I've got.
Absolutely.
Thanks to the folks at Robert Irwin Jewelers who made it for me. And Kevin, I have been known to try to give friendly advice to all because I know what procrastinators we are as husbands, boyfriends, whatever it may be. And we'll wake up on the morning of December the 15th or maybe December the 24th. Who knows? Oh, I gotta get something for Amber. I better go get it now, Robert Irwin Jewelers. You better hope they have it in inventory. Because and even then, who knows? If it's what you exactly want. That's why I'm encouraging all go now. They have master jewelers who can make your dreams come true. If you're on the verge of saying, will you, and you want to present that special person with your own design, they can do it. All you got to do is take an idea, a picture, whatever it may be. They will make your dream true. But they can't do it overnight. So go now, or go tomorrow, Go Monday, whatever it may be. Go to Robert Irwin and make those dreams true. And they have an excellent selection of earth mined and man-made diamonds. And they also have zero down with up to 60 months. That's Robert Irwin Jewelers, two locations. Mall in North Little Rock, and the Pleasant Ridge Town Center. Highway 10. Fresh Market. Robert Irwin Jewelers. Bigger. Brighter, diamonds, better prices. All right. You had a mineral springs, I believe.
Murfreesboro. Yeah, Murfreesboro and Dirks, Bear.
I got mineral springs on the mind.
We can talk about Mineral Springs too, Randy. But we'll start with Murfreesboro Dirks. Murfreesboro 4-0. Headed for a showdown maybe in a couple of weeks with Mineral Springs. Murfreesboro last week beat Poen by a couple of touchdowns. Leighton Wiltshire, the quarterback, threw 3 scores in that game. Dirks, the first 3 games of the year, averaged 31 points a game. They've scored a total of 26 the past 2 weeks in losses. They lost last week to Lafayette County. Hoops.com picks Murfreesboro. Elsewhere in that conference, Mineral Springs is favored over Lafayette County, and Poen is favored over Mount Ida.
And Bear, I would be remiss if I did not check in on my Elkins tonight. They take on the Huntsville Eagles.
Undefeated right now, and man, they're playing really, really well. And they're favored. Elkins is favored. Undefeated, 4-0. Huntsville winless, 0-4. Thing about Elkins, so dynamic on offense with Deshaun Chairs, Dizzy Dean, but that defense has a huge help from Gunnar Casebolt. Gunnar started for him as a freshman both ways and then gave up football for a couple of years. He came back out for his senior year and is rounding into form, and he could be the driving force to help get Elkins to the semifinals or championship game this year.
You know, Elkins, it's going to be a name your score tonight, and they'll get back to that 50-point mark. They dropped below it last week, only scoring 41 against Gentry, but I do believe that they'll get there. Talking about Boonville travels to West Fork tonight. Boonville, of course, 2-2 on the year. They're 2 losses to 5A classification opponents. Dax Golf has done just about everything, but Jace Washburn, 3 for 3 last week. He came into the game with 2 completions on the year. Talk about the Boonville Bearcats in their game against West Fork.
Passing that ball, Boonville's beaten West Fork 6 straight times. As you said, Dax Golf. Rylan Ray is really starting to to get better. He has 275 yards rushing this season coming off that knee injury. The Bearcat defense last week, the first-team defense held Hackett scoreless. They gave up some scores late. West Fork hasn't beaten Boonville since 2009. Don't think it happens tonight. Boonville pretty big over West Fork.
And this from our Southern Solutions Buzz text line. This one is one that this game is kind of going underneath the radar. Benton versus Marion. That from Zach.
Well, homecoming at Benton, so you got to push those distractions away. Benton's won 3 straight games. Marion is 4-0 for the first time since 2011. Marion just mercy ruled Greene County Tech a week ago. But Benton 3 in a row victories. They beat Catholic a couple weeks ago. Then last week really turned heads with that 49-point victory at El Dorado. Braylon Russell's playing well. Drew Davis, the sophomore quarterback, threw for 270 and 4 touchdowns in the first half. And they get players back from injury this week. Chris Barnard and Elias Payne should be back, and those are playmakers. They do have to slow down Marion's tailback, Jalen Smith, and Ashton Gray, the senior quarterback. I think that's enough defensively to do it, and Benton wins a close one.
Hey, guys, we're going to have a lot of, last week we had a lot of games that were kind of lopsided, and, there may not be as many tonight. There are going to be some close games that we've talked about, but I talked about it a little bit earlier. Little Rock Hall playing a lot better under Jim Withrow. Of course, Coach Withrow, I've known him for a long time, 25 years now. He brought Mills back from the Death Valley, literally, only 21-game losing streak when he got there. They played well last week against CAC, 40-27. Bear could they get their first win tonight against Dover?
I think they could. And you go back 2 weeks ago, I think they played pretty well against Pottsville. Not just
Clinton,
run out of the stadium.
Yeah.
So this is very improved team, and they've hung with some of these better teams. Ja'Cory Carter played well in that game at the CAC. Dover last week lost to Bauxite. Dover's having struggling to score. So Hootens.com picks Hall Steam Academy to get its first victory of the season.
And what else? This is from our Solutions Buzz text line. And we'll just say from the 501. How about that? Maybe Pastor T. I'm not sure. How about Bigelow? Rising. What is going on with Rising?
Yeah, Rising's winless, but Bigelow's undefeated, but. This is a Rising team that I was shocked last week they lost to Hoxie so much. They came close to getting a victory week 1 against Dumas. It's just gone south there for Caleb Carmichael, but still feel this is a pretty good winless team. This is a non-conference game as well. Realistically, all they're doing is aiming to get ready for the conference play. But Bigelow, unbeaten, looking to win a conference title in the 1-2A. Rhett Newmeyer, man, he passed for 206 yards, 2 touchdowns last week in a victory over Mountainburg. This is the first ever meeting between these two teams on the football field. Hootens.com picks Bigelow at home over Class 3A Rising.
Bear, we talked about England and Quitman earlier. Salem and Newport in that conference. Both teams 1-0 in conference play, but Salem is 5-0 in the year. Offense is averaging 40 points a game. Defense playing really well under Coach Watson. The matchup of the Greyhounds in Northeast Arkansas.
Yeah, it is. And if we see the team sprinting out to a big one, it could be Salem. Elijah Romine ran for 250 and 3 touchdowns last week. Caden Brink had over 100 yards rushing. Newport beat Quitman, and as you said, defense was the key for Newport. They stopped Quitman 7 to 10 times on 4th down. They had a goal line stand to preserve the victory, used big plays, scored 3 times on plays of 40 yards or more. So they're going to hit some big plays on Salem, but Salem's got just enough defense to edge past Newport. And Hootens.com thinks both these teams are pretty good. We've got Salem ranked number 5 in the state, Newport number 10.
And let's check in with Danny. Danny, good afternoon. Welcome to our Football Friday.
Good afternoon. Appreciate it. Didn't hear you talk about it, but I thought you might have already. The Catholic West Memphis game. Wondering, give me a little bit of thoughts on that. Catholic had a big win last week. I don't know much about West Memphis, so you could give me some idea. I appreciate it. Thank you much.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, Catholic really drubbed Cersei last week, led that game 31-0 in the third quarter. Jackson England played well. Will Aaron, he kicked a field goal. He's going to kick some field goals. Could kick a big one tonight at West Memphis because this is a very good West Memphis team. West Memphis scored 44 straight points last week to Mercy Rule Sylvan Hills. Keelan Mills, the senior quarterback, and Jeremiah Magruder, the running back, both of them put up big numbers every week. I think this is a low-scoring defensive type affair, and Hootens.com picks Catholic to get a win at West Memphis.
All right, Bear, we're coming up against it. You want to go over your top games in each classifications for Hootens tonight?
Yeah, real quick I can. 7A, it's Rogers at Fayetteville. Battle of great quarterbacks, Hootens.com picks Fayetteville. Class 6A, it's Marion Benton. We just talked about it. Benton getting so many kids back from injuries, and Hootens.com picks the Panthers. In Class 5A, win at Southside. Surprisingly, this is a big one with big playoff implications. Had a coach tell me this week Southside was going to win the 5A East championship because of their rushing attack. We'll see. This will be a very tough task for them. Hootens.com will pick Southside at home. In Class 4A, we've talked about this one plenty. Pottsville at Bauxite. They've only played twice. Pottsville's initial foray into football in 2003. Bauxite won that game by 20 points. Bauxite beat them again last year. Bauxite got a score on defense a week ago. When they do that, they're very tough. Hootens.com picks the Miners over Pottsville. Class 3A game of the week, picking Salem over Newport. And in Class 2A game of the week, picking Conway Christian over Hector.
That's it. And so long, don't forget. 10 o'clock tonight, the Ortho Arkansas High School Football Scoreboard Show. For the Grooms of Hootens Arkansas Football Magazine. Kevin Bohan and I'm Randy Rainwater. Coming up next, high school football, El Dorado taking on the Cersei Lions. So long, everybody. So long, everybody.
Have never been brighter than on a Friday night in the fall.
Walker White's going to look to throw. He'll step up in the pocket. Going to run with it. He's out to the 5-yard line. Hurdles a man. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown. Brings a man in motion. Going to give to Dupuis. And he's going to get the end zone for the touchdown. Dupuis dives forward on the right side with 1.1 seconds remaining.
Are you ready?
Keaton cuts it back into the middle of the field. Still on his feet. Dives to the end zone. Touchdown, Catholic. Tunnel screen left side. They get it off. That's over to Payne again. Payne's in the open field. Out to the 25, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown.
Welcome to the high school football game of the week, presented by Birch Tree Communities. Today's game is also brought to you in part by Arkansas State University 3 Rivers, Roller Funeral Homes, Arkansas Medical Staffing, Alliance Electrical, Arkansas Urology, Summit Utilities, the Arkansas Trucking Association, Gwatney Chevrolet, Gwatney Buick GMC, Midtown Plumbing, and the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas.
Now Hurley's going to drop back to pass. Go big ball. Down the middle of the field. He's got Crutchford down to 20, 10, 5, touchdown.
This week's game features the El Dorado Wildcats and the Cersei Lions. Now let's head to the stadium and join our broadcast team. Here is RJ Hawk, Kyle Sutherland, and Josh Neighbors.
It is a gorgeous Friday night in Lion Country as we come to you live from Lion Stadium in Searcy, Arkansas, as it's the El Dorado Wildcats taking on the Cersei Lions in what's set to be a great matchup here in Searcy tonight. I'm RJ Hawk along with Kyle Sutherland and Josh Neighbors down on the sidelines for tonight's Birch Tree Communities High School Football Game of the Week. And Kyle, you think about these two teams, we'll first start with the El Dorado Wildcats. This is a very young team, especially when you look at the quarterback position with Mitchell Polk, only a sophomore for this team, and on the year 32 of 63, a 51% passer. But they've really, with Chris Hill as their new coach, they've really got away from that spread a little bit. It's a ground and pound type of offense.
Well, and they're running the spread, but they're running a lot. So they're lining up in spread formation a lot, but they're putting the ball on the ground. And talking about Mitchell Polk, he actually got some time last year as a freshman. He later on in the season got a chance to play on varsity after moving up from junior high. So he got some experience there, but he is the guy right now, and like you said, really just continuing to find his way in Chris Hill's offense.
Well, and the running back tandem, speaking of that running game, it's really a two-headed monster between Bratavian Brown and Thomas Smith. Those two guys, Thomas Smith is going to get the bulk of the carries for this offense, but as he's had 47 carries for 163 yards, Bratavian Brown 33 carries. I mean, he's a good complementary back for this offense.
Yeah, and those are the two guys that you're going to see a lot, but that's also probably the main area that El Dorado is really just trying to improve is the running game. They're averaging about 3 to 3.5 yards per carry right now, so definitely trying to get that going against the Lions defense.
And when they do throw the football, as I said, Polk has thrown for 400 yards this year, 2 touchdowns, does have a pick, but he always looks for Jamarian Robinson, who is accounted for 16 receptions, 300 yards, and he's only a sophomore.
Yeah, Robinson is definitely his go-to guy. 16 receptions, 300 yards. He's averaging just under 19 yards per catch with a long of 52. So they have something going there. Of course, Jamari on that inside receiver position, and that's definitely one that he goes to quite a bit tonight.
Well, it ought to be a fun one. El Dorado comes in the game averaging 19 points a game, 245 yards of offense, and as we talked about, they average 136 yards on the ground per contest, and they lost to the Benton Panthers last week. Both these two teams, Searcy and El Dorado, coming off losses as Searcy played Catholic last week, and El Dorado played Benton, a very good Benton team.
Yeah, that's the thing is Searcy, they were 3-0, and as I said, with Randy and them just a second ago, they got their humble pie last week. They certainly got any kind of weaknesses that they have. Basically, Catholic did show those, so that's been a point of emphasis all week for them. And these are these are the two teams that are fighting for that 5th and 6th spot early in conference play right now.
Well, we are about 11 and a half minutes away from the opening kickoff between El Dorado and Searcy from Lions Stadium in Searcy. When we come back, we'll talk about those Searcy Lions and what they've got to do to win tonight's ball game. As you're listening to the High School Football Game of the Week presented by Birch Tree Communities on the Buzz Radio Network.
Birch Tree Communities, providing care for individuals living with severe mental illness in their own supervised home environment. Their staff serves as a guide to members on their journey to independence in the community. If you have a client, friend, or loved one diagnosed with schizophrenia, schizoaffective, or bipolar disorder, and are in need of assisted residential care, please contact Birch Tree Communities Admissions Department or online at birchtree.org. Birch Tree Communities, a place called home.
At Summit Utilities, we're more than just your gas bill. We're also your neighbors, and we're here to help, just like your neighbors do. Account-related questions, aid in setting up a payment plan, or assistance with rebate processing to help you save money on a new water heater. We've got you. At Summit, we're the keepers of the flame, making sure you have hot meals, warm baths, and a cozy home, providing you with energy that's there when and where you need it. Summit Utilities, comfort delivered.
We're all getting ready for that big game this Friday night. Clothes are laid out, cars are decorated, and the menu is picked. Your hometown teams have prepared, practiced, and are now ready to put their best on display for you. I'm Renata Jenkins-Byler with Roller Funeral Homes. When you choose the Roller Funeral Home in your hometown, you can be assured, like your team, we will be ready to put our best on display for you. Roller Funeral Homes is a proud supporter of Arkansas High School athletics.
Every day, we do one thing, and we do it at the highest level. We formed Arkansas Urology more than 25 years ago, and ever since, our world-class team has gained experience and expertise in every aspect of urology. Today, you'll find our state-of-the-art facilities across Arkansas, where the latest technologies are used in innovative ways by skilled specialists who are dedicated to one thing, improving lives every day. Schedule your appointment at arkansasurology.com.
We are counting you down for tonight's opening kickoff between the Searcy Lions and the El Dorado Wildcats. I'm RJ Hawkin along with Kyle Sutherland and Josh Neighbors, who we'll check in with momentarily on the sidelines. But I want to remind you today's game being brought to you by Birch Tree Communities. They provide care for individuals living with severe mental illness in their own supervised home environment. If you have a client, friend, or a loved one diagnosed with a mental disorder and need assistance in their residential care, contact Birch Tree Communities today by going to birchtree.org for more information. Kyle, let's talk about those Searcy Lions who come in 3-1 on the season. Talked about just a minute ago how they lost to Catholic last week, but really they do everything with their quarterback, Tyler Strickland. 63 passer on the year, has thrown for almost 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions.
That's really one of the only major differences in these two teams is El Dorado has the younger quarterback that's pretty much just getting started. Then you've got Tyler Strickland, the 2-year starter. It's very likely that he's going to hit 1,000 yards tonight, currently completing 63% of his passes. But with all of the youth that this team has, a lot of sophomores and juniors, he's going to be big.
And, you talk about that youth, but really Ricky Love at running back, 47 carries, 354 yards. And he's also got complimentary back in Cotton Parker. And these receivers are really good as well.
And I think one thing about Love, he's got 5 receptions for 196 yards. Now, he's got that long of 77. So that's something else that they're going to use him out of the backfield, too. Cotton, like you said, he's a great they're averaging 5.1 yards per carry. Great there as another compliment in the backfield. But Ricky, they'll look for him through both the air and on the ground.
This is a team that is averaging 39.5 points per game. And you mentioned a minute ago against Catholic last week, they got to see a little bit different of what this conference has to offer.
That's right. And that's the thing with Catholic right now. Jackson England playing one of the best quarterbacks in the state right now, especially in this young season. And that's what I was saying a second ago. Tonight, you've got Benton and Marion. You've got West Memphis and Catholic, the top 4 teams playing each other. And then you've got those 5 and 6 spots right now, 2 teams with Searcy and El Dorado that are continuing to try to find their way.
And think about this team since Zach Clark, the head coach, has taken over, came down from Springdale, and really has transformed a team that, they went from being a state championship team to a team that just wasn't very good for a couple of years.
Yeah, right after they won state championship in 2019, they were one of the ones that really were negatively affected by COVID. They had Coach Kenny Simpson that's now back at Southside Batesville, and now Zach Clark continuing to try to right the ship.
And what's really interesting about this team is that they're very even. This is a team they average 206 yards on the ground per game, but they also pass for 222 a game.
Yeah, that's right. And that's exactly what you want to have. You hear coaches all the time talking about being balanced and just looking at, again, just talking about Ricky Love and Cotton Parker. They do a great job on the ground, but Tyler Strickland is definitely one of those best quarterbacks in 6A that can move the football.
Well, let's head down to the third member of our broadcast team, Josh Neighbors, who's standing by for an Arkansas Urology sideline report. Josh, the sun is down. It's got to feel good on the field here at Lion Stadium.
Yep, we're glad we hit the part of the year where the sun is down before kickoff. So tonight, 82 degrees as we head towards kickoff, 53% humidity. That will get a little bit cooler as the night goes along. So still feels like football weather, not totally fall yet, but a really nice evening because, guys, it was hot when we showed up today. Big game here. Both these teams coming off some relatively lopsided losses, one at 3-1, one at 2-2. So we talked about it before the game, but a figuring out process still happening here, even though we're a month into the season.
Thank you, Josh. We'll be checking in with you throughout the ball game tonight as captains are making their way to the field. El Dorado comes out in their all-white uniforms, trimmed in purple with purple helmets. As for Searcy, they come out with their white pants with red tops trimmed in white, and they've got the black helmets for tonight's contest. We've got about 5 minutes until the opening kickoff between these two teams. We'll take one more break. When we come back, we'll have the opening kickoff between Searcy and El Dorado as you're listening to the High School Football Game of the Week presented by Birch Street Communities on the Buzz Radio Network.
Alliance Electrical, family-owned and family-oriented, appreciates family. When it comes to your family, Alliance Electrical can help you make your house into a home. From residential construction, including recessed lighting, custom indoor and outdoor lighting projects, swimming pools, and standalone generators to keep your family comfortable when the power goes out. Alliance Electrical Services. Let their family join your family. Call Alliance at 501-249-1415.
When's the last time someone offered to pay you $2,000 to drive up to the airbase in Jacksonville? Well, if you could save that much on your next trade, wouldn't it be worth a short drive to Gwatney Chevrolet? Since 1957, Gwatney Chevrolet has offered the best deals on new and pre-owned. Plus, next-level service after the sale. Coming from Little Rock, take the Main Street exit, right on Main. Left on Bailey to our front door, 1301 TP White Drive. Call 501-982-2102, GwatneyChevrolet.com. Chevrolet, find new roads.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas proudly deliver reliable, affordable, responsible power across the state. The growing demand for electricity is strained by the elimination of sources needed for year-round reliability. Adding renewables like wind and solar cannot replace the on-demand workhorses of coal and natural gas you count on. Power must be balanced in order to meet your needs and the mission. Reliable, affordable, responsible. That's the Electric